77 years old. She's still out there dragging them damn things out, feeding cows, flake at a time. Keeps her going.
Good for her. Yeah.
This is up here.
Enter meeting info, why is that there?
We are, that's just a great.
Did you?
Leave start falling before you know
No, the camera's
it.
still
Leaves
working.
will start falling before you know
Wow,
it.
we did.
It's still working, so.
Or
Or it was. Now you lost your video.
Dean, we got.
It says you're there, but you lost your video.
Steve Mill and Carly. All those with the. It's just a pain in the neck when the leaves fall under their speed, but they don't go through the ring.
You're doing the grades.
This is that old computer.
They don't go through
Probably
the
the
ring
last time.
if the leaves fall, it really stinks.
You're
Gonna have to use your other one?
I can't. Some great.
That's what we've been using.
After last.
Right, he was gonna fix Kathy's for you, right?
The speed bump.
Feel zoomed out. Restrictions like anything.
Is it not very effective speed bumps? All right, Justin, we're live streaming and recording, so whenever you're ready.
I can never watch the live stream.
Are you, is Liz host that? Yeah, on that hill, or you need it from like the bridge up through the whole gates.
It's actually about halfway out there. Above that little steep hill on the right,
Oh, yeah,
just above that. Before you get up to the.
right up the whole gates.
Actually, once you get up a little ways, it's almost, I should have showed that.
Yeah.
You look at it.
I don't know why I'm picking letters. Right, Jessica. Oh,
Get it off me.
why isn't it going to that camera? I think we need to change how you're doing it and just put the camera on the board and forget all these individual ones. My opinion.
I reached out to him about this and.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
There you go.
Mounted on the ceiling, it'd be kind of hard to get us all in the view.
I'm sorry. I figured that's why you guys were all sitting out on the end. So ones that didn't want to- Well, that's where I'd be.
Right.
Use on this one?
You trying to make this one the primary?
Makes myself no pen, which is okay.
Because I'm with you.
There, I got you.
Thanks, Judge. It looks scary.
We're kicking the gas.
It's metal.
Sorry, now I'm
Colorful
sorry.
plastic.
Good. Yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to call the September audit meeting of the town of Hector to order. Please rise and we'll recite the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Anthony. Oh, Anthony, you open that window.
Yes.
We had a motion for that?
Anybody have anything to say about the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for August 12th, 2025 as written.
I'll second them.
We have a first and a second. Any questions or comments about the minutes as presented?
Not that I know.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
This the first resolution, then the journal, and then the other ones are underneath.
Okay, so this is
Two separate resolutions.
All right, we have some we have a general journal entry that we need to approve. We need to move, this year we started working with a supplemental motion company to get more campers into Smith Park, and that is called Hip Camp. And the way the money is coming in, we need to move it from, the account that it came into a different account. So we need to move $389.40 from, we need to debit $389.40 from A 7110.4, and we need to credit it to A 2001. It's just kind of housekeeping of the money that's come in from the campground.
I'll second Justin's motion because it sounded like he made it.
The first and a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? The next one is we do have a number of journal entries. We need to move $251.51 from A 1990.4 contingency to A 3310.4 traffic control. This is the balance of, we have a limited sign budget. This is the balance that we need to cover for the sign that we put up in Perry City. We also need to move 1,071.69 from A 1990.4 contingency to A 7110.2 Smith Park equipment, because we bought the storage shed. This is put the equipment line over the budget. We also need to move 10,079.78 from A DA 599 fund balance to DA 5130.2 equipment. This is the cover the full cost of the highway department's half of the backhoe. We need to transfer $5,491.34 from SW 1990.4 contingency to SW 8340.4 transmission and water distribution. And then lastly, we're moving $60,079.78 from SW 599 fund balance to SW 8340.23 for the balance of the water department's half of the backhoe. We're using it from fund panels because the water district has budgeted multiple years for this piece of equipment, and each year it just ends up in fund balance when we didn't buy it. So now we're finally buying it, so we're moving it from fund balance. So the people that have already paid for this aren't going to get taxed again for it. So those are my journal entry budget amendments.
I'll make a motion to approve the journal entry budget amendment. It's so sad.
One second.
First and a second. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Let's move the bills as audited.
I'll make the motion to approve the bills as audited.
One second the motion.
First and a second, any further questions or comments about the bills as presented this evening? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? That motion carries. All right, we're going to move on to our Schuyler County Legislator update. Larry, would you like to share with us what you brought tonight?
Thank you, Justin. I got some good news. Our August sales tax brought us over 2.34% over budget, which is gonna help us all. I know last year you got over 600,000 off the sales tax. I'm hoping we're right in that same line for this year. Because as you all know, we need it. Also, our budget, we're right in the middle of budget right now in the county. We've already gone through the departments, but now it's gonna be the chairman of each department, along with the legislator that's in chair of that. They have to sit down. We're hoping to have it ready by first part of October. And then we can, really get into it deeper, the legislature, we put it that way. we go through it with fine tooth comb. And I know you guys got your hands full coming up, and you haven't started your budget yet, have you? I mean, good luck. It's quite a challenge. Also, I'm quite pleased last night, if you haven't read, we got the file. We had, some people in talking to us about the, ice and sheriff problem. We have the, people that, how am I gonna say this nicely? Anyway, I learned a lot about what the community needs in North Hector. I didn't hear anything other than North Hector. But, we really have to look at it very strongly, whether we wanna stay with ice or tell the sheriff he can't do this or that. We haven't even talked about it, but I wanted to bring it to your attention that we are in the midst of it. And, it's.
Can you expand on that?
Pardon?
Can you expand on that?
Not really, other than, we know that we had one grape grower, had a, person taken out by ice, and that really turned everybody on. And they wanted more input, they want the, sheriff not to get involved. But, my intake is, if the sheriff has a warrant, he's got to follow through. But as far as following the ice, I'm gonna have to think strong and hard. I haven't put in the mind, because I won't get into it till next month, and then we'll have some large discussions, I'm sure. But it's quite a challenge, and, I appreciate the people coming in. I mean, we probably had six or more speakers, but they had, I think around 30 or 40 out front, posted, walking up down the street, and, you know, that's fine. Just get their ideas out, is what we're looking for. So, any other questions?
How would somebody hear about that, like that was happening? Like, it's very interesting, like, I think that would be great to have known about.
Something like that, I think, it really doesn't.
Well, where was it advertised, anything?
Oh, Facebook, and, then word of mouth.
Okay.
Yeah, I know we had quite a few people out front, and, you know, I think we had 15 or 20 inside. And, very, very nice, I mean, very low key, everybody had their time to speak, and, we listened very strongly, at least I did. So, because it's something that's been built in here for a long time, I didn't think we'd have that problem, but it's that time of grape season where a lot of those migrants come in. And I know that, we got a couple of dairy farms that have them, and they watch it very closely. But this one, I was told this guy's worked for them for 20 years. And the ice came in and says, you're wrong.
So was there a warrant for him? Was there a warrant issue?
That I couldn't tell you. They didn't say anything about that. But they did, all they did just were upset because ice came in, period. And, they don't want us to get involved. They don't want the sheriff to get involved. But, you know, that's something we gotta think about very strongly.
And that was from Bill Davis's farm. I think they messed with.
I didn't mention that.
I know, I wanted to mention
Yeah,
that.
I didn't want to get involved in all that, that's not my business. But, Bill did do he got up there and spoke and did a nice job. So, and I'm sure that the rest of the farmers are worried too. I know the ones that come up across the lake are very worried whether they're gonna get their people there or not because they're afraid to come in. So, you know, it's just been buzzing around for a long time, and now it's that time of year where we need them. Okay. Any more? Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. It is 7:14, and I'm gonna open up to 10 minutes of public comment. If you have something you'd like to say, please identify yourself before stating your concern.
Okay. My name is Christina Hansen, and I am voluntarily giving you my name. I live in Hector. Just the first thing I want to touch base with you is regarding the rules for public comment. if you could just review your policies with the town attorney and the open meeting law, your written guidelines are all good, but how you're interpreting them to limit public comment to 10 minutes doesn't seem to be congruent with the open meetings law. So I'd ask you to look into that.
We're gonna
The
record.
contractual fee with STAC that you approved last month, I don't necessarily have a problem with what you pick. I'm just wondering the process. The 70% license fee, was that amongst your bills you paid tonight? Okay, I'm just wondering if it's, I know you worded it for it to go back to the beginning of the year, but I'm just wondering, is that legal in New York State to backdate?
Absolutely.
What?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, I would think, since you made the resolution in August, that anything going forward could be 70%. I'm just a little confused how, going back to January is, well, but I don't know, so I will go with that. And the new sheltering regulations that go in effect January 1st, have you all read the guidance? So I guess the important thing for you to know to protect the community is that if the shelter that you're contracting with has violations, you're on the hook too. It's not just them now. You have the liability. So just to make sure you should read that guidance that the state's put out to municipalities and just make sure you're covering the liability concerns of the community and not putting us on the hook. It's just a little curious why so many local towns are now contracting with the Humane Society, and I'm just worried something goes astray down at SDC, they're gonna be full and not be taking anymore. So I'm just thinking you should maybe have two options to present to the community and the board, not just one, just it might be a better rounded view considering the liability issues that are coming up. And if you had an offer from Schuyler County Humane Society, doesn't mean you have to take it, but it would be good to compare and weigh the potential liability. If you can tell the community that you completely trust STAC to be in 100% compliance, 365 days of the year, okay, and that's the decision. But like violations can be $1,000 each, and I just want to make sure it's a lot for him to take on, and I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying
If you're
he shouldn't
alluding to
look
his
into it.
failing the last inspection, I'd like to point out the Schuyler County Humane Society failed theirs in December of 2024.
Yeah, you posted that online, but you didn't post Joel's.
Yes, we did. It's in the public record.
It's in public record.
I didn't see it posted.
It's on last month's board meeting, the audit meeting.
Yeah, we
The-
discussed it.
The
We
report.
discussed it.
I didn't
Yes.
see it.
Well,
I'll go back and look, but
We discussed it, and
did he,
his is specifically almost entirely related to paperwork, which is part of the reason why we are
well, it's
passing
okay,
the local
I know,
laws.
I heard, I listened, but I guess were any of the Hector or Schuyler County dogs let go without licenses? That was one of the violations.
I'm not sure. But we resolved that with him in the meantime.
Okay, great, that's good news. Okay, Smith Park. There's a lot you have proposed for going on that for changes. Right now, we're waiting for the EV chargers. The existing office bathrooms are getting renovations and additions, which we're completely in the dark about. We don't know what's going on. You're adding the shed. You're adding a campsite. You're altering a bunch of campsites. and you're putting up a pole barn, and you're putting it in a really nice forested area. That's one of the nicer areas of the park, which doesn't make a lot of sense. And then whatever you're doing to the south septic drain field, I'm not really sure. And is the north septic getting upgraded with the bathroom?
At this time, that is part of, will be part of the plan. When
Is it a definitive plan?
Yes.
Okay, cool. My concern on all of these things is the Department of Health requires you to submit any changes that are going on in the campground to, and be approved before you start construction or alterations of sites. And then with the amount of work that's being done, especially the pole barn, I would ask the town to look into the seeker if you have to do the seeker process. And that's not a punitive, that protects you from litigation. So I would encourage you to put a hold on these things and go through the process with the seeker and the Department of Health. Just make sure you have all your ducks in a row and all the boxes checked, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Would you like to speak to our interaction with the Department of Health and regular interactions?
Yes, whenever we're doing like the work around the South Bath, for example, I have reached out to the Department of Health. They said as long as there's no modifications planned to the septic itself, they think it's a good plan to provide additional drainage and keep the drain field or leach field area from ever being overloaded with groundwater. We've had the Schuyler County Health Department do multiple tests in terms of dye tests to check the functionality of the septic, and both of those were negative, indicating that the septic system is not in failure. The health department did say, you know, if we do, while we're doing the drainage work around the South Bath drain field, if we are to end up digging into a component of that septic, that it needs to be put back the way it was, or if there's any modifications, they need to be notified, and we would need to work with an engineer. But they said, you know, at this point, the plan that we shared with them sounds more than reasonable. But again, we would reach out to them one of the other reasons we're asked to reach out to them if we were digging in that area during the campground, during the camp season, and any raw sewage is spilled out on the ground, they would request a call and they'd want to know how we remediated it. And so basically they're happy with what we're proposing to do within the area that's out there.
What about the water line and the chlorination line?
So after the engineer looked at the diagrams more thoroughly, the final draft showed that the chlorination tank was left off the design. So there was a box that checked yes for chlorination or no for chlorination, and the box was checked no in the original designs that were approved by the health department.
So they put it in anyway?
There was thought that there was a chlorination tank there, but after further investigation, it doesn't appear that there was ever a chlorination tank put in.
Thank you,
Do you
Jason.
have the original plans for that septic system?
Yes, and I do want to, you know, you've looked at those plans multiple
No,
times.
I've only seen the sketch, those aren't the actual plans from the engineer.
Okay, so we'd be happy to provide any relevant information. If you have, if you do have an issue with the way that the town was addressing it, the health department number is, if it's all done through a Cornell office. the health department.
I'm just telling
I'm sorry, just the way you're approaching this doesn't seem
Well,
really.
when I was there in the second county, the water guy was there, the watershed.
We need to end this.
He specifically said, move the water. He recommended a new mound system would be the best.
There's been conversations since then.
Thank you.
When you don't include the public in the conversation, we don't hear it.
Does anybody else like to comment this evening?
There's a question in the Zoom, Larry, if you could answer, they just asked, when is the legislator gonna talk about the ICE, situation?
Our meetings are, let's see, today's one, probably the 28th, 29th, whatever the Monday, Tuesday is on the end of the month.
The, 29th, September 29th is your next meeting?
Yes.
Well, that's me.
Yeah.
Is it a particular
What time
time?
What time is the meeting, with the meeting?
It's in the morning, 9 o'clock.
Okay, so 9 o'clock, September 29th is when the committee that will discuss it will be meeting.
And I'm sure it'll be under the sheriff, which would be safety. Public safety.
Public safety, okay, thank you.
All right, hearing no further questions, we'll be closing public comment period at 7:26. And we're gonna move forward and open the public hearing for local law number 1, 2025, for impound fees. And the setting the impound fee pursuant to agriculture and markets law, section 118, section 4. Enacted by the town of Hector. The impound fee set forth in paragraph A, B, and C of section 118 of the agriculture and markets law are replaced with the following impound fees. $50 for the first 24 hours of impound for each dog, and $25 for every subsequent 24-hour period, or portion thereof for such dog. Basically means if the dog makes it to the animal shelter, these are the fees that an individual has to pay to recover his or her dog.
Are you opening up for comment? You didn't mention that.
I said I was opening the public hearing, but if you have a comment,
I guess my comment is the rise from what it was previously from 25 for the first offense, $50 for the second offense, going up to $50 to $150 is a huge increase. It's between 100% and 500% increase in what was being charged. And just listening to previous conversations about increases in fees, I've never heard anything in New Town Hector go up that quickly. And I'm just worried it might impede people going down there to get their dogs. And I don't know, just doesn't seem congruent with all the other decisions of the town.
this is a $50 fee for the first day if your dog is there, and if you don't go pick it up in the first day, it's an additional $25 for each additional day that it's there.
Right, so it could be $150, $150.
Yeah, it could be.
So that would be a 500% increase. To what I do now.
I guess take care of your dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Visual fencing, they have all this technology now. It's just amazing.
Yeah, my dog's always on my leash then.
Well, we
Yeah.
don't worry about them.
Thank you for your comment.
15 years ago, I had a dog at the dog shelter. It cost me $200 to get it back. I'd be glad for $150.
Any other comment?
Well, I guess I would add, I'm looking at like, so a few months ago, you approved a junk license when the person wasn't in compliance and you just had that issue. Let's talk to them about fences. It's kind of like it seems arbitrary how you are delineating fees. why would someone with the junkyard get off, but people with dogs?
I have zero interest in discussing anything to do with the junkyard, but what I will tell you is that the reason that this is being passed is the agreement that the town of Hector and all the other towns in Schuyler County signed with Southern Trail Animal Control. We all agreed upon these rates.
Yeah, I'm just speaking on behalf of.
However, because we had not passed an updated local law, it caused him to be out of compliance. So between last month and this month, all the other townships in Schuyler County, along with the town of Hector, are updating our local laws to be in compliance. If this were the case with any change in fee for any humane society we contracted with, any and all of us would be out of compliance. So this is the agreed upon rate by all townships in Schuyler County, and we're comfortable with it and moving forward with it.
Yes. Okay.
You need to do a resolution to adopt the local law
Close the
effective
public
today,
hearing, yeah.
or close the public hearing first, please.
Close the public hearing, and at this time, we need to pass a resolution to adopt the local law, making it effective today.
I make the motion to pass local law number 1 for the year 2025, setting impoundment fees pursuant to Ag and Market Law, section 118-4.
I'll second.
We have a first and a second on adopting this local law. Is there any further questions or comments?
I need a roll call vote, please.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right.
Board approves the local law.
Need signs. One copy signed.
No,
Okay.
I sign it and file it with the state. Thank you, though.
Mhm.
All right, we're gonna move into department reports, and we're gonna start with the sustainability committee.
Thanks, Justin. We didn't have a meeting in August, we had our annual picnic instead, so we don't have a lot of new business, but we're continuing to work on the first Hector Water Quality Forum that's gonna be held October 15th from 7 to 8 p.m. at the Hector Fire Company. Our meeting next Thursday, and also the meeting after that on October 9th. We will be finalizing details for the forum. We're probably gonna have light refreshments. We'll be advertising on Facebook. We've done it once already, and we'll do it some more. We're open to ideas from anybody about how else we can publicize this to get as many people there as possible.
I think the only other thing I can think of is a flyer for, I know the post office. I mean, I noticed the flyers on the bulletin board in there, and then we can put one up at Two Goats and.
Okay.
It probably wouldn't hurt to advertise at Oktoberfest too, if the sustainability committee's gonna have a table, right, so that's October 11th.
Yeah.
And so it'll maybe a couple of days later, be a good way to get the word out.
Oh, if you do that, yeah, that'd be fantastic. It's October 11th. Okay. Then I think we can maybe get my kids to put it on the sign. The fire company can ask.
That seems reasonable.
And hopefully we get a good turnout. Any comments on that or?
If you may close it, I'm happy to help get those around.
Okay, all right, we'll work on that next week. We've got some people on the committee that are good with that sort of thing, so we'll get close to together. And then we also continue to work on the Hector Homegrown campaign. We have our logo. We didn't get a lot of response from people when we solicited folks to come join the group, so we're gonna reach out. Each of us will, go out to different farmers and producers and growers and say, hey, we'd love to be part of this group. And we kind of have this vision that's not pouring fully out of maybe on our Facebook page or a new Facebook page, having every few months a story about a particular farm grower. The logo will be available for anyone that wanted to use it, and maybe a map we could have on the Town of Hector website, maybe on the Sustainability Committee's website. Anyway, again, we're talking about different options for promoting that campaign. And our next meeting is, next Thursday, 6 to 7 at the Hector Library. Then we moved our October meeting up to October 9th, so we have a second meeting ahead of the water quality joint. So that's what's going on with us. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is for our county assessor. Our contract with the county for our shared services agreement with assessor services is up for renewal. And also we are scheduled to reappoint the assessor that's been assigned to the town of Hector. As far as the contract, town supervisors have multiple concerns about the existing contract. And we have plans to be meeting in late September and early October. And we'd like to make some revisions to the contract before any of us will sign. Concerned that the current contract is overly advantageous to the county. And so I'd like to ask that we table signing the contract until at least the October meeting. I believe we have our assigned assessor here in the room this evening, and if she'd like to introduce herself and has anything to say.
I'm Jessica Ryan. I'm your Hector assessor. We are currently working on a reval project. It is behind schedule, I will be very honest. We have had lots of disruption in the office this year. I'm sure that won't break anybody's heart to hear we're behind schedule. So it might honestly be a 27 project instead of a 26. We are about 30% complete. I would like to be closer to 40% complete at this time. But unfortunately that error with the town and county bills in January has been my pet project to correct, and with the new director being so green, so I have taken it on, which is obviously with the project 3 now behind. It is looking to be similar to the 22 project. So scary numbers again. The waterfront and the vacant parcels will probably see the largest increase. But we're looking at another 20 to 30% increase for this project. The market's just out of control. We are at 73% currently of market value, and that was probably gracious. I probably should have rounded down a little bit more this year, but it affects people's exemptions, so I didn't do that. And yet the only other thing that I have is I'm up for reappointment October 1st, behind starting date going till September 30th of 31. And if anybody has any questions, I'm really happy to address them.
We have a number of questions and concerns. First off is the availability of office hours. And we're real concerned that moving forward with this full reevaluation, is there going to be enough appointment availability with your office? Because this past year, there was no meetings made available to town residents before grievance day.
That's not true. And I had a whole schedule set out. I could print it out and show it to you. I had many hours.
What we're hearing is becoming exceedingly difficult to make arrangements to meet with the assessor's office.
Okay, I have not heard that. We're open 8:30 to 4:30.
I am very concerned that with a full evaluation, there's going to be an overwhelming need and desire to meet, and that your office is going to be unwilling to.
I don't think that anybody's unwilling. So we have someone retiring and we have a brand new director.
Well, there'll be a lack of availability.
But different. I don't see that being a problem. There were extended hours offered this year. Again, I'm happy to print it off that schedule that was created. There were 0 phone calls made to the office to make, that I'm aware of, to meet with me for this year's prior to grievance.
How many towns are you responsible for?
3.
Which towns?
Montour, Catherine, and Hector. And you guys, by all means, take the largest amount of my time.
It seems like, roughly that leaves you with, what, 12, 13 hours a week for each town?
I would say that probably 75% of my time goes to Hector. Just, we have many more splits here than the other towns are quieter.
I know I'm apprehensive going forward because I know some of the other towns within the county have seen a significant uptick in lawsuits dealing with reassessment and with this huge reevaluation that we're facing. I'm feeling that we might will be the next target of these lawsuits and wondering what kind of availability we are going to have and your office is going to have to hopefully meet with and negotiate away from lawsuits.
Certainly,
Because
so-
the expense to some of the other towns is quite significant.
Correct. So Montour and Catherine didn't have any lawsuits. I did a revale with them in 24. I think I had one SCAR hearing come out of that. And I was available for that. I met with him ahead of time. And we came to grievance and it still led to SCAR. But beyond that, my towns did not have any lawsuits. The towns that you're referring to, I believe, would come up the Dixon Reading revale from that.
Yes, but I also feel like your most recent revals weren't quite as significant as the one that we're facing here.
They had a significant increase, I would say, because some of them haven't been done since 2017. They saw 60% increases. So I wouldn't say that it was nothing. It definitely fewer residents, so fewer people that requested my availability. But I'm available Saturdays after whatever it takes. I mean, I'm dedicated to this position.
One thing that we're kind of concerned about is your mail pickup here hasn't been real regular.
Okay.
Another thing that came up that we heard from a number of concerned parties is in new construction in particular, that your assessments have been over the actual physical costs. And there hasn't been any consideration taken to documented costs and an assessment being increased by a significant amount of time in 2 or 3 months.
So I have a system that New York State provides me with. I have to run everyone through that. It's based off the 22 project, so everybody's based on the same numbers back from 22, even if it's new construction, and I have to fall within that range. And doesn't honestly matter really at the end of the day what the building permit says. New York State says I have to fall within this range.
Always New York State's fault with everything, it seems like.
Laws that we have to follow.
I feel like this year, more than any time in the past, we got quite a large number of telephone calls, issues with exemptions, and the repeated concern was there was absolutely no assistance from the assessor's office, and I know in some cases they were moving on to state offices looking for assistance. I know Tom O'Mara's office got quite a number of calls from the town of Hector. I even got a call from the town of Hector, from O'Mara's office asking what the heck's going on with these exemptions. Why are we getting so many phone calls from your town specifically? And I'm concerned that there's not enough assistance for people that need help for these coming out of the office.
Our office is definitely understaffed at the current moment. I'm not going to deny that, which is why we're behind schedule with us.
It's as simple as in some cases, the ag exemption is a big one that I'm talking about. Are we mailing out that notice too early if people are getting it in early or mid-November? Is it something that's getting lost during the holidays?
Historically, that's always when it's been mailed out from our office. If you guys would like that change, I can certainly look at.
I feel like possibly
Tom used to mail it out in October.
might be interesting if it went out at approximately the same time as the tax bills, so the kind of came hand in hand. And
If you guys would prefer that, I can certainly.
I think that might be a good
Definitely not an issue.
Another thing that I think is part of the contract is I think it would be beneficial if you visited and presented to the town board at least on a quarterly basis.
Certainly, I can do that.
But I think this is only the second time you come to one of our town board meetings.
Probably. That's probably accurate.
The other thing is, you know, I'm not sure if 100%, but does the town board need to approve in some way these revals? Because I feel like, you know, in this particular case, there was never an approach to the town saying, I think we should reval. It was just kind of decided when we were notified.
Reached out, I believe I emailed, if not all of you, as many of you as I could, and I had asked if we are going forward with a reval, what is the process? Because we have no director, so I was unaware of that process. I know I emailed Mike, Jessica, I definitely emailed you guys.
It's, you know, this is something that none of us have talked about that I'm aware of, and we're given the conversation.
I do actually, I remember that
I
email.
have the email, and I'd be happy to forward it to you.
It's not something I know anything about, but yeah.
I would personally feel more comfortable in this appointment is if we made it a conditional appointment through the end of the year based on our contract negotiations with the county before we sign on for a 6-year term. It's an extremely long time. One of the things I'd like to negotiate into the contract is a shorter term with the contract of maybe 2 years, because currently our contract agreement says there's supposed to be an annual meeting where we review the performance of the appraiser, and that's never taken place. And at least if we had to renew the contract every 2 years, it would force conversation between the towns and the county. So I'd like to make a resolution that we conditionally appoint the assessor through the end of 2025 with potential permanent appointment at the year-end meeting based on negotiations with the county for our contract for the year.
I'll second that motion.
We have a first and a second. Any further questions or comments?
So we're not commenting, we're not doing anything on
Not
the
just,
contract right now, just on the appointments.
Which really makes sense. It should be an assessor, but if we're gonna redo the contract, why would we do it for 6 years? It makes sense.
Yeah.
to be fair, the assessor by law, it's an 6-year appointment. But if we don't come to an agreement with the contract, we may look elsewhere.
Who seconded that?
I did.
Thank you, Mike.
There is a question on Zoom, but I can wait till after we voted.
Okay. Are there any other questions about the vote or the resolution I proposed? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Excuse me. Okay, motion carries. And then there's a question.
Yeah, somebody asked, what's the reason for the reevaluation?
The reason, and she can address it, she already did, that the valuation dropped to 73%.
So we certainly don't have to. Most of the counties and towns in New York State actually don't. I believe you guys have entered into an agreement with New York State to maintain a cyclical reval schedule. So that would be every 3 to 4 years.
We are. We do have that.
Provide state for that. But if that is something that town factor currently doesn't have to continue with that.
And for anyone who's watching, can you just review how the assessment is made?
So we do a sales analysis of 3 years of the sales in the town of Hector, only the town of Hector, so we're not comparing it to Dix or Reading or anything else. So we do 3 years in the town of Hector of sales. It is all uploaded into our system, and that's one piece of it. The other piece of it is cost that comes from New York State. So it's cost to build in our area for different structures. That is also loaded into our system. And then each parcel is run through these two programs and we come up with a range that the assessment should be falling in between. There's the cost side and the sales side.
So the sales is comparable, like the 3-bedroom one, got it a similar size.
Compare ranch to ranch.
What is it actually?
Cape Cod to Cape Cod, waterfront.
May I ask a question? How big of a range does it give you for, like, say, a generic home?
So that's very interesting because each parcel will be very different. Waterfront will probably have a larger range where, you know, off the water will be closer. The range will maybe be 20,000. Whereas on the lake, the sales tend to be way higher than cost, which is.
Well, I mean, the model that it gives you to throw a number at it for assessment.
It's different with every parcel. So off the lake, it tends to be a tighter range, a $20,000 range. Where on the lake, I might see a $200,000 range.
I think that the question that you're asking, tell me this is right, is you mentioned ranch or Cape Cod. Are you asking how many of those categories are there?
Pretty much versus like, developed property versus vacant property, it's just brush or anything like that.
Oh, so vacant property,
Like potential building lot versus, other potential building lots that are vacant.
vacant property is a very tight range. It's within 5,000 to 10,000.
I live 100 yards from my daughter. We own the same house. She has 2.5 acres.
Okay,
I have 12.
okay.
Her taxes are more than mine.
Is she have a newer
No,
home?
no.
That's like kind
And
of
she
bring
bought
others.
it at, she bought it for 55. And by the time the taxes come due, she was assessed at 116. And she just bought it. It drives me nuts.
Hey Scott,
Did you buy it from
I think this is a very valid question,
But you got things to do.
but that's the kind of thing you and your daughter should be making an appointment with them to discuss, because, you know, like I said, I think it's very valid, but this isn't the spot.
Yeah,
I'm sure everybody in this room could have a question or advise about that, so thank you. Thank you. There's no further questions. Thank you very much for your time this evening and answering the questions as best you could.
No problem.
We're gonna move on to parks. Smith
Come back
Park.
and visit Sue.
Highway? I'm just gonna, I'm sorry.
Highway.
Yeah, highway.
Yeah,
Oh, I skipped highway, I apologize.
You skipped that. Don't skip that.
Yeah, I already took my time last week.
Okay.
All right, so, so this month we started fall grading. We're done making sand. We actually are done hauling sand too. We got done today. It's all in Tug Road. We're mowing the second time around. We've mowed the cemeteries for Labor Day. We're still working on ditches and driveway pipes on Lake Street, Shumway, and Seneca Road. We hauled some block in for Saturday Hill. We got a couple spots where the road's sloughing off and it's leaving us. We gotta get.
Like sliding off the,
Yeah, the washed out under the pipes and the pipes dropped and the road's cracking and we fixed one, but it didn't hold very well, so we're gonna dig it out and bring blocks all the way to the top of the road. And we have another one up by the sheep farm there past Shumway that has to be done. So we've get set for that, but that's. They did pay Mecklenburg today, or yesterday and today. They finished it today. Anybody's noticed it.
I know it's the end of the road.
The end of the road on your way by. So,
and you got work on voice.
Royce, and Rose Lane, what they're gonna do on,
October 3rd.
October 3rd. Hopefully, they're gonna do the tunnel and fix the bad spots on
And Burnett?
stage.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, yes, the tunnel and.
Yes, the tunnel.
The tunnel in Burdette, I was like, yeah, that's
Tunnel
wrong.
in Burdette.
We've been-
Went through there a couple weeks ago, so it's
I
bad.
had them out there patching again today. I don't know if they
And it's
did it.
bad
I
and
told them while they were out patching to make sure they checked it.
It's bad and it's dark, you know, and you're like, whoa, what was that?
You can see the reflection from that giant puddle, you might not know, you know, it's like, oh, good thing it's full of
We're
water.
supposed to come back and grind that out and pave it like 50 or 100 foot out each end through the tunnel. So that's the plan, unless we run out of money. So that's what we got.
Highway committee still good for next Thursday.
Just
Next
Thursday?
Yes. Tomorrow's only the second Thursday.
Right.
Also, just FYI, we got a reimbursement today from the last chip submit.
Awesome.
Alright, so yeah, next Thursday, yeah, we're.
It's good, yeah.
Okay.
No?
Yep. Anything else?
No, we're going.
Alright,
Just how long will it take to change the lights?
Actually, with Dalrymple's, you'll be lucky if they're there 2 days.
Okay.
I over took 2 days because then I had 7 trucks from online. Generally, Dalrymple's got trucks.
There's more roads in Beloit to do than Bethlehem, right?
There is a little more, yeah.
But I don't know. I'm just curious. Thank you.
Yeah, this should be done. Dalrymple's is really good. I don't think there'll be there more than a couple days.
It'll only take until it's done.
Good
Oh,
point.
I should have come up with that. I don't think fast enough.
Now, only board members can be glib.
Oh, But yeah, so. And we're trying to get the ditch done and the pipe in for the campsites up there before they get there, so we're not on the pavement doing. My Tucson broke, so. But you can't get the parts, so I had to go see Jamie and make it work. So, we'll be back then.
thank you, Scott, appreciate your time this evening.
Thank you.
Now we can move on to the parks reports.
Okay. Top of the page there, you can see a snapshot of our budget, just a summary of what we're looking at right now. Doing pretty good. So,
It should be pointed out too that you see the net is significant, but that, remember that payroll will be coming out of that. Bills, this is only through end of July or end of August anyway, there's
July.
end of July. So there's still August. There's still
Yeah.
August through December that's gotta be taken out of that, so it won't be that high, but it's gonna be good revenues this year.
Just so everybody watching knows that currently our total revenues are $297,962 gross. And in 2024, it was $161,000.
That's amazing.
$29. So we're talking about a significant increase.
And the big
Part of
difference
that
is
was to the increase in camping fees too.
the big difference is the transient camping is 100,000 plus more than it was last year. That was largely because getting on CampSpot, just getting the online reservation system. And then the expenditures are also down this year. That's mostly because last year we had, what was it 3 emergency trees? We had the ones over the Forest Ridge and then there were the ones right in front of the office. So we had maybe 7,000 or something of expenditures just in emergency trees. So anyway.
Well done, Mallory.
Thank you. I've had a lot of help. Okay, so our campsite markers have been delivered. We are waiting on the shed for the swim beach to be delivered. Just had a call with the guy, he called me yesterday to say it's done and built. We're still working on the site where the shed's gonna go.
But hopefully we will have that scheduled for drop off next week sometime. Still waiting on trees to be delivered. Best I have is October. I don't have any closer date yet. They're supposed to reach out to me and let me know when to expect those. So, asking to change our dump station rate to 25. Right now it's at 20. We've had pretty good usage of the dump station. And then upon doing research of other local places and whatnot, 25 is the kind of the base rate for non-camper dumping.
This is garbage or is it RV?
RV gray water dump station, yeah.
Basically, 100% of the other campgrounds we looked at were $25. So we were like, oh, well, I guess we're a little low. That's for people who have RVs at like, you know, some other park or wherever, camping in the area and need to dump. So they can come to Smith Park and they can dump in our septic. But there's a fee. There's not a fee for campers in the park, but there's a fee for them.
I'll make a motion to change the dump station rate from $20 to $25.
Are you making that effective immediately?
I'm making that effective yesterday.
Second already.
Today.
Thank you.
We have a first and a second. Any further questions or comments about this change? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Came yesterday.
Anybody opposed?
Right.
Yeah, new dumps, rates.
Thank you. I've been in pretty decent contact with all of our seasonals. I have about 20 that are looking to come back and 6 maybes kind of on the fence. And then I have about 30 plus roughly on the wait
Out of
list.
how many, Mallory? How many seasonal spots?
26.
Oh, that's all of them.
Yeah, that's all of them.
Okay.
Yep. Let's see. This kind of all ties into itself a little bit. Campsite renovations possibly this fall. That's the RFP you guys have for the campsite improvements. Need to get this approved so that we can get this put out and start working on sites and things.
So
Yeah, you have two things.
you have two. You have. There is one new campsite that's being proposed. That's the first one on the list, 18, and then what we're calling 18A. It actually seems like there was supposed to be a campsite there at some point, and then something happened where it didn't happen because there are 2 pads. One's got gravel on it, one's just grass. There are 2 water spigots and there are 2 electric stands, but we've only ever used it as one campsite. So we're proposing to make a new campsite. We did on this say relocate electric, and we actually have decided, since I submitted this, we don't need to. So all we need to do is actually bring in fill and gravel for the grassier spot.
So you would remove 1 and 2, the first 2, from the
Yes.
scope of work for campsite.
Correct, yep, it would just be 3. So it's actually a pretty simple one because the topography is already there. It just really needs to be defined more. 30, and you wanna proceed?
Yeah, sure. 30 and 33, they share a driveway. I would like to have a U-shaped pull through along with the 2 camping pads west of the driveway. Where we would have to relocate 1 blower on site 33, 50 feet north, fill level and define the pull through, delineate the 2 camping pads. So that's for that section. Campsite 40. It's a very small site. It's kind of terrible.
This is the 3rd year we will have been trying to improve the site. And if it doesn't work this year, just forget it. People regularly ask to be moved off of it. last year, the contractor who did the excavation work had proposed something, and we decided not to do it, and now we're actually proposing it again. So, but it would require removing 2 to 4 small trees. They're all under 5 feet diameter. One, five, sorry, five. Just small trees. Little. Two of them, Rebecca, you'll have to confirm this, but I think 2 of them are the Norway maples. And then,
The two that I don't remember 4 small.
I know.
But I looked at it again, but what I saw to be removed was not anything significant or.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of trees right around it. You're not opening it up to a big opening. You're just getting those out of the way so you can cut into the bank in order to make a much, a better pad for a tent or a small, like a camper van kind of, that's what it's designated for. And the person will be able to park, their picnic table won't be down in the driveway of the other campsites. Everything will be more compact for their one little campsite, so just makes more sense to make those improvements for it.
And then Mallory, want to go?
Yep, and then campsite 61, it is currently a pull-through that has an unlevel and undefined pad as well as an unclear driveway. It's very unlevel and there's kind of trees placed around it. It's hard to tell where exactly you're supposed to come in and go out. And we've had quite a few people ask to be moved off of that one too. We want to relocate the electric approximately 50 feet east, and then water 40 feet south, fill, level, and define the pull through and delineate parking for the actual campsite. Because that one it's a little rough too.
It's kind of a popular site too, and then people see it on the map and go, yeah, that would be there.
Well, they like it because it's close to the bathroom.
To the bathhouse, it's in and out, you know,
And
but then you get
pull-through.
there and it's very unaccommodating.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yep. And then campsite 62, not much to do to it, but the water does need to be relocated approximately 30 feet north. And then same thing, fill, level, and define the pad. Make it a little easier to be able to. Right now, they would pull down in or back in. They can't really do anything else because the water spigot is right in the middle of the site. So if you get rid of that water spigot, then they can kind of pull down in and then back into the spot. So.
I was telling you the other day, I noticed the water was going across the driveway and somebody back over the hydrant on the one side.
Yeah.
That's on the repair
It's
list.
on the repair list.
Why is the hose from?
Across the road.
Everyone has realized it when I drove up through.
So these renovations are dependent on the weather, is that right, possibly this fall?
Mm-hmm.
Weather and expense.
And expense.
We're just hoping someone's available to do it earlier than rather wait till the spring.
Yeah, the campground doesn't close until the last Sunday in October, so it really, I mean, if the weather is bad, I mean.
We're gonna have a beautiful November and December.
The falls have been, they have been really warm and long, so you're probably okay.
It's, yeah.
If we put it out now and we get some bids, we can.
And we want the
get it
contractor,
in the process, but if somebody says, I'd love to do it, but I can't get to it till March.
yeah, or
No,
they
we
can't get to
may-
it till December because the leaves
Yeah.
vary things so much
Yeah.
that it's hard to see. Really, when there's leaves on the ground, unless Jason Bond is around where he can get the leaves out of the way so they can see what they're doing. So it's, yeah, anyway, but we figured if we put out the RFP now, we have more contractors might be available than when we try to do it. Like we got like a 2-week shot in April, depending on weather again. So we were kind of hoping like this would give us a wider range of bids.
So what do we want to set as our proposal submission?
That's what I was gonna ask, yeah.
Pre-bid meeting and then the proposal submission deadline.
You want the deadline before the next board meeting, so we'll discuss it the next board meeting.
I think would be ideal.
Yes.
The next,
October 2nd.
no,
October
it's October
14th.
14th.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
So if we did the pre-bid meeting, maybe like the the first, the 30th, or the first. That would give them 2 weeks to, and then we did the proposal, they have to get their quote in by the 10th.
We should, oh,
Would that work? It gives them a week and a half to put up a quote.
change.
And it's a pretty simple project. It's not a big. Oh, does it give you time to do what you need to do? What do you need to do?
Depends on what, when are you gonna advertise it, when are you?
That was me the next thing.
How are you just,
I want,
because this is a request for a proposal, how are you putting this information out to the public?
Well, I mean, I really don't, I mean, I don't know for sure, but this project's not really that big of a project. I'm thinking it's gonna be between 10 and 20,000, depending on the cost of things. It's not that, it's kind of the same size project as last year, and that was 10,000.
that being said, we have not done a good job of getting out some of these. I want to make sure we advertise this
Yeah,
properly so that anybody who's interested is aware of it and can bid on it. So that's my concern. That's my only concern about
mhm.
this. Is I don't want there to be any concerns that I didn't know about this, or I want to make it clear so we can advertise them. I would assume on our website. The paper record is there.
Yeah, you'd need to put it in the Watkins Review. You could put it in the highlights in the Seneca Area Shopper. We need to write an ad that's gonna give enough information to have them come ask for this from someone, which if it's Mallory that they contact to get it, then that's fine.
I mean, could we just write an ad that kind of has the purpose? Summarize so the purpose is improve campsites by creating better organization of utilities so that utilities are located in the northeast corner of the sites, more defined access and parked camper location, and to level the sites. This would involve relocation. I mean, I wonder if just that first sentence.
The first sentence might be enough.
Yeah.
And then it has to include this contact information up here.
Okay.
So that would work.
If you get anybody's interested, please call.
Yeah.
Right. So we can get it in next week's papers. So that would allow you to possibly move up your, if it's coming out in the paper, and both papers, I think, publish Tuesday or Wednesday. So to get it in the highlights, I need to have the ad for the paper by, I think it's 4:00 on Thursday. For the Watkins Review, I have until Friday, probably noontime of this week, to get them in next week's papers. So anything that I have written more clearly rather than I have to write the whole thing helps me out. That would allow you to possibly move up your actual pre-bid into to like the 25th or 26th, not waiting till the very end of the month. Giving them a little bit more time to navigate.
Well, maybe the 26th. I think contractors a lot of times like Fridays and Thursdays, so 26th. 9/26.
I mean, it would allow you to do that if you get it out in next week's paper.
Okay, well, we'll aim for
And we're
that.
also accumulating a fairly good list of
Okay.
contractors as well. They will just be sending it to them.
Mm-hmm.
But for people that are this, we don't have a contact for them or something, it'll be also advertised.
All right.
So 9/20, yeah, but then your submission deadline, you need that. You need to have an ending date that you're gonna accept these. in order to, if you're going to review them on
The 14th.
the 14th, here's
here's
part of your problem with the meeting for the 14th. In order for me to get everything done, because Monday is a holiday,
That's right.
the 13th is a holiday, for me to get everything done, I need to have all the bills to be paid and everything done.
Yeah.
I have to arrange a schedule with Kathy that works for all of the bills and vouchers. Because she's the one that has to run the summaries. She has to input them into the accounting program and run the summaries for me. So that's gonna have to happen probably by Friday, the 10th.
So should we have this 10-9?
So then I need, somehow or other over that weekend, I'm gonna have to do the uploads of everything else, along with the scanning all the documents for the attachments.
So should we say 10-9? That gives her a couple of,
Or the 8th.
oh, the 8th,
On the
Wednesday the 8th.
Wednesday the
Wednesday the 8th.
Sure.
The night, yeah,
There's some weeks.
I think that's almost 2 weeks, and honestly, it's,
Yeah.
the ninth,
it's
the ninth
not,
would work for me. You could put it
yeah.
the ninth at noon or something.
Okay,
So
and then
we
we'll do
have-
the
I
meeting,
think that meeting would be when?
the 26th,
9:26.
And what time are you gonna do that one at?
9 a.m.
Okay.
Okay. So,
And the submission deadline by 4 p.m.?
Like
10 to 8, 4 p.m.
if you do 10:08, do 4 p.m. If you do 10:09, do noon.
That would be 10.
Yeah, maybe tonight.
That's just to get, pull everything together for the meeting.
Right.
So the sooner you can get
I
me.
can get it to you tomorrow. I'm actually leaving the country on
Thursday.
So I'll get it to you tomorrow.
Okay, okay. That works because then I can get it out to the papers right away.
Yeah, it's really easy. I'll just give you that.
I just think the sooner it's in the paper, the better response you're gonna get, so. But so do you, the board, want to authorize this RFP and advertising it?
I'll make the motion. Authorizing. Press for the Great Smith Park.
Second it.
We have first, and second for authorizing and advertising request proposal for Smith Park campsite approval. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Okay.
Okay, and then have to talk about camping rates, transient and seasonal rates. And then, we want to talk about new configuration of seasonal seasons. Thinking about splitting the seasons in half. So you would get either the front half, May, June, July, or the second half, August, September, October. Reason for that would be to kind of move our wait list along. It's not getting very much turnover, people are kind of just sitting. That's kind of the basis of that.
When we did the,
The people that are sitting are still gonna sit and they're just gonna run through both.
no, so when we did the, comparison to other long-term campgrounds that have seasonal camping in the area, we found that actually 100% of them, actually one that we called, which is over in, by Letchworth, didn't have a wait list, but everyone else has a wait list. And some of them are extensive wait lists, like Clue Park is 7 to 10 years. I can't remember what it's called, but they just changed their name. But the one up at Sampson, they they have 80 people on their wait list and they stopped taking new names because there's such a lack of turnover. They will not add people to the wait list. So anyway, everyone had a wait list, and it just seemed really discouraging that now most of these are private campgrounds, which, you know, they can do whatever they want, but as a municipality, it felt like it just felt unfair to not allow people to have an experience. So we have more people who want to camp seasonally at Smith Park than we have campsites. And that is an increasing problem, and it'll continue to be an issue once we create the day use, once that gets developed on the north side of the park. It's going to be even more of an issue. So, and the only way, when we had originally sat down with the landscape architects back in 2022, I think it was, or 2021, can't remember, when they did up the design for the park, their proposal was, well, you can create more campsites up in the woods, you know, just develop more campsites. But honestly, that doesn't really, I mean, the more campsites you have, the busier you get, and I don't really know, that may be the direction in the future, but currently it does not feel, that's like a whole different animal. So how we're trying to resolve it now is proposing the idea of half seasons. And I think some people will be upset, but I think actually it's a market that's untapped, and I think some people would be happy. And weirdly enough, I was in the office talking to Maureen and one day, and this couple came in and they asked about seasonal campsites and getting on the wait list, and they were teachers up in Rochester, and they said, well, we're actually not interested in 6 months. Do you have anything shorter? And it was so weird because I had just been talking to her about this idea. So I felt like that was a sign.
But some of this has, I mean, to me, a lot of it has to do with the fact that we are a public municipality park, and we're not a private park. And so we should try our best to, as fairly as possible, get people that been on the wait list, give them a chance to come and camp there. And if we have 2 seasons in one summer, 3-month sections, the say the current seasonals who want to come back will choose which section they want to be in. And then we will have more space to start with the wait list, getting into the wait list. And
Would we only allow people to choose one season?
well, we're still talking a little bit about that it could be the point of you get your 1.5 season this year, then next year you go to the bottom of the wait list. And people continue to move up the wait list. And it seems like a nice way to actually offer the park to people that have not had a chance to do that, because we're not a private entity, so we don't have to we can't just do whatever we want like private entity does. I don't think. I think we have to open it up to the public.
How long have most people been on the wait list?
I have a wait list that I'm working off of, since I started.
It's hard to, yes,
But some of that might have existed before you.
That's what I mean, there's.
There may be that have been there so long, once we call them again and say, guess what, you can go, they might go, oh gosh, no thank you now, you know. You don't know, because they have been on the wait list for so long, and still are interested because they're asked, are you interested? And the people that are on your wait list now are people who understand our newest caveat of you have to move everything off at the end of the season. So they already know that is there. That's the biggest change the seasonals have had. This won't be another change for them.
I believe about 15 are on the wait list from this year only. And then Mallory was throwing in another 15 from the wait list that had more than 80 people. It was a long wait list that we put together. Diane Carl actually started putting it together, and then in 2023 we finished it, and it goes back to 2018, I believe. Mallory went through last year, she called every single person, and so there's people she didn't get a response from. So those are the people she was like not really sure what their Or there was people that they said, yeah, we're interested, but we actually have already secured our spot. We're not interested this year, but keep us on the list. So the old wait list, we're not really quite sure what that number is.
Yeah, not until I start making phone calls again on that actual list.
But just the fact that we have 15 new ones this year is kind of speaking to the fact that, well, this is probably going to be the case next year too, that there's, people interested.
Just to play the other side of it, and I do, as an idea, like the idea of 3 month seasons, but with these 20 people that have been consistently there, that have the 6 months, what if 15 of them are like, throw their hands up and we actually decrease our revenue by making, or in use in the park by making, what is a pretty fundamental change?
I don't think that would be a major issue.
If
Well,
that does happen, which, I mean, I can kick into reviewing it, if we didn't fill up the seasonal campsites, we could turn many of them into transient campsites. And running the numbers, every single transient campsite makes more money than a seasonal campsite.
Okay.
So
Yeah, more than double.
it might actually
Increase.
increase.
I guess the question at the heart of it is, who are we here to serve? Is it the people who have been campers, or is it as a public to the park to give, give more people an opportunity? I guess it's a philosophical question. It sounds like you guys are grappling with.
It also comes down to, should the other seasonal rates actually too low? That's why there's such a list, and people want to stay there because it's.
Well, I did do comparison calling around, and honestly, they're pretty much on target. Some places are higher than us, some places are lower. But we're not wildly low. However, it's hard with Smith Park to put it because a lot of RV campgrounds are just like a field. So it's hard to put it in comparison when you're going with a seasonal. There's a lot of transient not a lot, but more lakefront campgrounds tend to be transients and not seasonal. But yeah, so
How many comparable, what is the field of comparison? 6 other campgrounds?
we did,
10?
it was probably about 10.
Maybe. Like all in the sort of Finger Lakes area.
Not all of them, but 8 of them.
Huh? Okay.
And one over in Western New York and one in Eastern New York.
Just okay.
It's online.
I don't think how many people are on the waiting list are locals.
Yeah.
Versus,
Yeah.
I know, just being out in the public, people around the area would, like the option.
Yeah, so we did find out, a thing that the town used to do was bump the Hector, we did this in 2023, I believe, we bumped the Hector residents up to the top of the waiting list, we found out that's not legal. So what is legal is to give them a discount, so we do a discount for the Hector residents, but you can't move them, you can't give preferential treatment, it's kind of like the state parks couldn't say, well, New York residents can camp here, but others, you have to wait. But yeah.
I think the interesting thing that might happen is, at least with local people that are jaded about Smith Park and think that they can't ever get a campsite if we move to a 2-3 month seasons, the wait list might grow because people say, oh, there's actually
More
turnover and there's an end to this, I might actually get there in my lifetime. I don't know.
So are you looking for approval tonight, or are you
No,
just bringing up discussion
It's
as you're
kind of letting
deciding?
you know what it's not firmed up at all yet.
What are you
The
trying
way
to
we're thinking.
when are you trying to finalize that decision?
For next year.
We need it.
By next meeting.
Yeah, well.
Because this will have to, it's kind of all the budget conversations,
But
preparing.
then it'll also come down to how much you're gonna charge for the 3 month campsite, which
Yes.
are they gonna equal price?
Imagine you just half of the rate that they just decided on last year.
And that's the other thing
For
too,
3 months
there's
or
some
6.
people that don't feel they can afford to spend,
The whole 6 months.
$4,000 or $5,000 on a nice site, but, I can afford half of the season. And it also brings in a different level of people with didn't think they could have the chance, let in the wait list, hopefully, and kind of click through the wait list at a much faster pace.
We are,
Yeah, and just to point out too, I mean, this is all dealing with seasonal camping, just to clarify, you know, everyone can be a transient camper, everyone can come and, you know, there's lots of turnover. So anyone can come and camp for 3 days or a week or even monthly sites that's available. But this is for the longer term, there's the wait list, but, you know, just some people might think that they're not, I don't know, sometimes you hear that where like there isn't the ability for people to camp is the wait list, but of course you can camp.
we are working through the details and we are working through financial scenarios and modeling so that when we come back, we can show the proposal and have what I think is some pretty good numbers to say, hey, this makes sense, or, you know, this is what we found, or modeling out, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I guess the question, what kind of vacancy rate we've had in our, I mean, all our seasonal spots were filled this year, and 26 is what we have.
Yeah.
And then in terms of transient, like, would you say like 70% of the time, you know, like
No, the vacancy rate is only 30%.
30%? That's very.
I mean, no, sorry, no, the opposite, the occupancy rate is only 30%. We think that, and we're working on that, that's more of the transient rates conversation, which again, the rates, we're not proposing anything other than introducing the idea, but we think it's at 30, the lakefront sites are pretty much booked solid almost every weekend. Like we might have one open or something like that, but the lakefront site, electric sites are what everyone wants. So we think that's at 30% occupancy because most people are just coming in Friday through Sunday. So when you take the whole year and all of the 180 days that we have or whatever, the camping season, you're just chunking out those 3 days, 2 to 3 days. So we're working on, we just had in a meeting today with CampSpot, and we're working on maybe doing, raising the rates a little bit on the weekend and decreasing the rates significantly on the weekdays. So it tries to encourage people to like.
Camp on a Monday through a Wednesday, you like, yeah.
So it's
What
just
kind of advertising do you do?
nothing, just CampSpot has its own marketplace, and they have a lot of, you know, if you're camping, they kind of, if you're looking for camping in an area, they come up readily. So it's really just that.
Kind of curious if we need to put a little advertising budget in next year. Just in terms of like, you know, maybe we just spend a little money and see if we could.
I think, yeah, I don't know enough about it. This will come in budget season, but I do think it would be, I'm gonna recommend that we put in the budget some contract labor marketing help. Because I had heard that advertising, social media advertising can go a long way, but I don't know, I don't know enough about marketing. Mallory doesn't, we don't know, none of us know anything about marketing. So, but to have a professional, that would be nice to do, to help us with some stuff.
Cool.
So that's the update.
We need some refunds made then?
Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4. Beth Conway, 3750, she's within the 15 to 29 days from arrival date, that's a 50% refund. So that's what she would get. Shay Almore, the 410, where they were within the 30 days from arrival date, so they get the full refund minus the $30 non-refundable cancellation fee. And then the last two were not cancellations, they were modified requests. Arnold modified her reservation, she shortened it 3 days. And then Joseph Tomaselli shortened his by 2 days. And that's what, the 120 and the 100 is what.
Make a motion to approve those refunds.
I want to ask about the last two, so they decided to
I'll second the
leave
motion, Jack.
early?
Maybe the first
Oh,
one,
sorry.
second, so
Sorry.
further questions and comments?
The last two, they decided to leave early?
Yes.
Or, okay, so
What's our policy on
it's, we don't give refunds for that. I mean, if people
Yeah,
decide to
that's
leave
what's
early
not
because
in
the
it.
weather isn't
Yeah,
what they like
if
or
it's,
whatnot, that's fine.
right, it's not part of the refund policy that if you leave early, you get some of your money back.
Did
Because
they
that,
actually check in, those two? Or, I mean,
Yeah, no, they were there,
and they said leave early,
yeah.
so they didn't change it like 2 weeks beforehand?
No.
Okay.
So this is, that's what I'm uncomfortable with, is the first two are within policy.
Yeah.
That's written, but the second two aren't, and it's one resolution.
right, so we had this.
I just didn't know how to handle the shortened days one.
Yeah, it's basically the same
Does it
as
say
if
anywhere
they,
in our handbook that there's no refunds?
yes.
Leaving early?
Well, not for leaving early, but if you don't cancel within 14 days, then you
So
lose the
technically, they
refund.
didn't cancel in 14 days, they canceled the day they left.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they cancel,
So theoretically, the handbook, it says no
No
refund.
refunds.
right.
So there is a policy, that's why I'm very comfortable with the first two, I'm not comfortable with the second two.
We'd like to modify
That's
the
what I mean, I
resolution.
just didn't know how
No,
to
that's-
handle those.
That's fair.
That's fine.
Well,
You're doing the right thing.
I mean, maybe that over this course of the next season handbook, we should verify that more, that
Early, yeah.
early departure, no refund.
Yeah, I think that's a
It's
fair
clearly
point.
stated in the, that if within 14 days, there's no refund.
Yeah.
So they can spell out more, but
Yeah,
it's there.
we are covered that this year. If we want to, yeah.
Would anybody like to modify their, resolution?
That's fine, I modify the resolution. You're just the first two.
I'm in agreement with that.
We have a first and second to provide the refund as presented for the first at Conway and J. Almagor. There's no further questions or comments. All in favor?
Aye.
We have a request for bid for the pole barn in, as far as I'm concerned, it's complete. It is, however, missing the drawing that I am waiting to get back from an engineering firm that will provide us. Otherwise, yeah. So otherwise, I mean, it's basically there, but we can't really set everything until we have a drawing. I think, unfortunately, I was hoping to do something this month, but I think by October, we can definitely set dates and propose this, which would mean we could at least have something in the works in the early part of next year, probably.
We can't move forward unless without the drawing.
We need the drawing. And, you know, if we set dates and whatnot and start advertising and the drawing don't show up, time, we need that. So take a look at it. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments,
The drawing is supposed to come shortly.
before it was just last week, we had to sort of draft and then forwarded it Thursday. So I can't really lay on forward to Thursday. So shouldn't take much, but
I just, if it comes within the next, beginning of next week, should we wait another whole month before
Yeah, that's what I
we set
said.
this, or should we have a special meeting, go over this and put it out for bid? Because really, you just
Well-
authorize and
Well-
put it out for bid.
I mean, my thought is that I guess I can go either way. I feel like, I mean, it's probably not gonna happen until spring anyway at this point. So,
Because they couldn't do this until after the.
I mean, the construction,
The people are swimming.
I mean, do they build in the winter?
Yes.
They do?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's actually
okay, I
better.
didn't know that.
If it's frozen, then sometimes it's
okay.
actually better.
Alright,
It's not frozen, they can build.
So,
Yeah.
But, and also clearing the trees off would be better before spring, because it's a lot drier now, especially because it's been a dry fall, so. That's why I was thinking maybe we shouldn't just wait another, because actually it's over a month today,
For the next
well,
one.
it's,
for the next meeting.
Yeah, there's an extra week in here.
But we have to have the drawing, but I'm saying we could meet in a special meeting to look at.
I'd be okay with that.
But I would feel fine with choosing a date and putting it out contingent on the plan coming.
Right, so you're saying 70 days.
I'm just saying, set the dates and put it out. I trust
Well,
the
yeah.
engineer's drawn what we've asked them
Right.
to, I'm not.
I would
Gonna make-
assume you're gonna get want your bids in before the October 14th meeting. So you would wanna do the same thing and get your bids in
The same way. we
the
did
same
other-
time frame as your other one. as the RFP, you have these, hopefully it could get advertised. It doesn't need to be advertised more than about 10 days, but,
You're having your other pre-meeting.
We're running that next week and I'm not comfortable that for that.
No,
right, but if you
no,
could run this the week
for the-
after, if you could get this in the paper the week after, they still would have,
I think Mike's just suggesting using the same preview day.
yeah.
I think is what he's saying, what, and that was what, the 26th.
The
25th.
No, it's the,
25th.
I think it's the 29th.
That was due.
I think you
No.
better look back to 26.
No.
Yeah.
26 was the pre-bid meeting.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I think Mike's
Okay,
just suggesting that use the same day,
Right.
because that would be.
I mean, it might be the same contractors.
Might be some of the same contractors, you don't know.
And you might get more contractors. Those people who are there were like, oh, I bid on that too.
So
Right,
if you
yeah,
did-
because one component of this is actually the clearing and the grading, and the thing we did with the RFP is separate out. You know, if a contractor can just clear and grade,
Mhm.
that's fine, you just bid on that section, so yeah, they may.
So I would feel comfortable with putting that out, a week later, advertising it a week later, but choosing the same preview date and the same, date for submission.
Okay.
And I would make that motion.
The thing is that we're gonna meet
Um,
with one of them at
it is-
9 a.m. and the other one we're gonna meet with at,
Alright, see, I think you're gonna have to push your preview date into the next week for this one instead of on the 25th, because of the fact that it's not gonna come out in one of the papers until the 23rd.
Right.
So if your preview date for this one, if you're gonna do a
Well, I was thinking we might save money if we advertise them both together. Even though we don't have the print, we're not advertising the print, we're just advertising the proposal.
So here's the thing, if it comes out in the paper, if it comes out in the. I screwed up. Oh, I need to look at the calendar better than over there.
Well, this is contingent that we
Okay.
can get a drawing. to-
All right.
Yeah.
You don't need a drawing until the 26th.
Well, no, there's.
See, even with the other one,
there's-
the other one, all right, so
And the drawing doesn't go in the
the
paper.
the site renovations is gonna come out on the 17th and you're gonna have your, pre-bid on the 25th, right, which is about 26th, which is fine. If this one doesn't come out until the 24th in the paper, the drawings would need to be in hand and available once that ad is out there.
Yeah.
So if we hold off and don't put that one in the paper until the 24th, then you're gonna need to have your pre-bid date, probably the 29th or 30th, if you want bids back by the, I would say you make them the ninth, even the 10th. You could do and because this is a bid, you need to set a bid opening. Your RFPs, you can just open them and then review them all together. You wanna open them all at once. You don't wanna open them in advance, probably, but for a bid, you wanna do a bid opening where the contractors are allowed to come to that bid opening. So if you set that bid opening for Friday, the 10th, like 1 o'clock in the afternoon or something, it doesn't take the full board for a bid opening. It can be me and the park manager and the supervisor. It doesn't have to be.
You just open them, but you don't make any
You just
decisions.
open them, and then they're gonna come to the board meeting on the 14th for your consideration. So I think that time frame you can make work for the bid.
so 10:10 for the bid opening,
We do 10:10 and you pick your time, if you want it.
1 p.m.,
Yeah.
lunchtime. And then what was the sealed bid submission?
Well, that, you could do that 1 p.m., but you could do this, the bids due at the same time. You could have them due
Oh, okay,
right at that same time for
okay,
this one,
okay.
because
10 to 8.
because it's a sealed bid. So they could actually walk in at 1 p.m. and hand you that
Oh,
I see.
bid.
The
And
10, 10,
we'll
I see.
open them right away.
Right.
Okay, that works.
They don't have to drop it off first and wait. They usually come in, hand it off and wait to see who.
Right.
Okay.
So you could do for them to come in and bid opening at like 1:15 or something if you want. Or we just open them at 1 o'clock, and if they aren't in here at 1 o'clock, they don't get in. Okay,
Okay.
but if you're gonna do anything pre-bid on that, I don't know, did you set in here I don't think you set a pre-bid meeting or something.
Oh, well, it's not in the, I'll have to add that to the request for bid.
So
Yeah.
if you wanna do a pre-bid,
Let's set the date.
you need a date and time.
Talked about the 26th as well.
That's the one we were saying.
You're not, it's
It's
not
only
gonna
like 2
come out in the
days.
paper until on the 24th.
I would say
So
like
I,
28th or 9th would be better. Sorry to cut you off, Jake.
yeah, you should do that the 29th or 30th, the beginning, you know, the
Let's
next
do the
week.
29th. Monday. At 9 p.m., 9 a.m., I mean, not p.m. Okay.
Yeah, because that gives you a little better scheduling, because it gets out in the paper, and only having 2 days to get to a pre-bid if they wanted to might be short timing.
Okay, do you want me to, for advertisement, do you want me to try to make up one that has both?
Because she's advertised at different times.
This is gonna be advertised a
Okay.
week later, so.
Okay, never mind,
So
sorry. Yeah.
we
Got it.
Yeah, that's gonna go out a week later. I think that's what's
So
gonna
we
work.
need to authorize this by resolution to
Yes.
approve proceed with the request for bid and approve advertising for the bid.
So moved. We had the dates.
Do we want to put it contingent to the drawings actually coming?
Do we know if the drawing, or are we, yeah, contingent on drawing, yeah, because,
We'll know in the next week.
contingent on drawings
Yeah.
being available. Because if we don't advertise, then it's gonna just push it off another month, okay?
Yeah.
Because we just won't advertise if we don't have drawings in hand.
Right,
So who seconded?
I'll second it.
All right, we have a first and a second. We've had lots of discussion. If there's any more discussion,
Right.
hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Okay. You have.
Hey, next thing, as part of the office redesign, submit, reconstruction, we need a topographical survey of the area around the existing building. It's submitted to 3 firms, and there's also the description of what is expected of them that is identified here. That's the EDR survey requirements. These 3 were done, and the least expensive one is we projected 2,500 to 2,700 for this survey. And I think it's a nice little bonus that this business is based in Hector.
What was the TC Miller, TG Miller's
Price,
price?
It's in there.
it's in there, it's hard to find.
It was at the very,
Yeah, I need all these prices, I have to put them in.
it was 4,000 something.
Yeah.
You think it's 4,200, wasn't it?
Where is it? I mean, did they have two sheets and it didn't?
Yeah, is there a second sheet or something that?
I think so.
Oh, yeah, there is a second sheet,
It was in the email.
but it doesn't,
I couldn't find it.
4,800,
4,800.
4,800 was
Okay,
TG
thank you.
Miller's.
It wasn't easy to find.
So it's, I thought you have a back copy on it, TG Miller's, don't you?
Yeah, but it's not on there.
I didn't see
I
it.
didn't have that copy on it.
Oh, I copied that stupid thing 3 times today
Yeah.
because it didn't copyright, so I'm sorry.
Okay.
Did
You
it.
copied half of it 3 times. too.
Yeah, yes.
I make
Either
a
way.
motion to accept the FLX surveying and mapping, the professional corporation is stated.
A second.
We have a first and a second. To approve the finger lake surveying quote. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? And one last thing that's not on here, for those of you who are in the committee for the building, the proposed building, watch for an email. We need to get the town members, the engineering firm, and the architect all on the same meeting schedule, so we can start setting up like a monthly meeting to review this. So watch for an email. I'll write it in the meeting there. You should see that probably by the end of the day, Thursday, so that we can start meeting and getting things done. Nothing can happen until this is done, so we haven't been in a big push. But now. So that's, all right, I think that's all of the part. Fabulous. Let's move on to the next.
Awesome. Our illustrated leader, Melissa, is home after her baby's in, so I got to be here on her behalf. We're just basically talking about Oktoberfest. We heard you guys last meeting, last month, and you suggested doing a ribbon cutting. And we decided to make the whole event a ribbon cutting celebration at the park. So the tentative plan, or the plan, is we're still gonna do some activities at the fire department, helicopter rides, cookout, hay rides from the fire department to the parking at the fire department. Activities at the park will be live music, ribbon cutting around 1 or 1:30. Richie and friends, local, are gonna grace the grassroots stage after the ribbon cutting. A few vendors were personally asking to come. I mean, even like, Andy being there with the table, that's kind of like what we're thinking, local. Buford Bennett, he's such a faithful, wood burner guy, he'll cash only, just kind of down home fun stuff. A few of the awesome games, like Audrey created probably in your backyard, the first Oktoberfest, bring those down to the park. Then kids will just play at will. It's way more scaled down from the past years.
You still doing corn?
We still want to have the corn. We're trying to figure out if there's gonna be space at the actual park to do that. I think there is, but I don't know.
I think you could do corn on a floating raft would be perfect.
Good time, I like how you think. So just events, park music, games, kids, the ceremony. Oh, we've got Marvin Pritz that's gonna be able to be there. He was like the designer of the trail. We're gonna have Rob and Alan come, give them shout outs, and it's just gonna be a good time to celebrate. We would like to sell alcohol at the park. The event is looking to go from about 11 to 6 or 7, because it's gonna get dark. We can't be hanging down there at dark. The plan is to go back up to the fire department for a bonfire.
Can I ask you some questions about that? Who would be selling the alcohol?
We would, as the MEC, as the not-for-profit.
Okay, and you have your own insurance.
We would be doing, just as we did for the past Oktoberfest, getting our own liquor license, being liable, insurance policy, so on and so forth.
Right.
The difference is on town property instead of fireman property.
Exactly. But is fireman's property not town property?
No, it's not.
Fireman property.
Oh, right.
If we chose to go forward with this, we just approve it by board resolution. And then, I would need the authorization to sign the landlord authorization form that the, SLA will provide as part of the application. As an example of this, the number of wineries and breweries did this past weekend at the Scotty County Courthouse lawn.
And just for a little bit of reassurance, what we're thinking as far as alcohol goes, like the past Oktoberfest, Grist Iron has donated their beer. I believe that's the correct one. And then we were just thinking like a red and a white wine, like it's not gonna be full on party, but it is a really good moneymaker, fundraiser. There's gonna, you know, Richie and friends. It's gonna be a very like celebratory atmosphere. And I think that's fun to partake.
Are you gonna have a, all right, so you said that, some of the vendors, some of the booths you've had before, are a lot of them coming back? Are you gonna tell us?
No, we're gonna look through the list and then choose which ones we think will be appropriate to have down at the actual park, because we're gonna be a lot more limited with space at the park than we were at the fire department.
And the one thing you need to remember, even though there is another pond at Met Fire Company, you still need to leave
Yes.
fire access to the pond.
Perfect, exactly. And so that's what's gonna be, thank you for that reminder, Jane.
That's a little challenging.
Fire access. I don't think so. If we have the volunteers that we're hoping to get, keeping people from parking in that circle, having that kind of coned off, and having all the parking happen primarily at the fire department. We will have like ADA accessible parking at the actual park for people that can't get on a hayride or you need to park there. The walking distance from the fire department to the park isn't far at all. It will be in the day. Yeah, what else?
I think, I've expressed some concerns. I'm not sold on this as an idea because of limited space and parking and the movement back and forth and what's can be a very busy, fast road.
With no shoulder.
With no shoulders. And we know from our other park, people are unwilling to walk almost at all. If they want to park at the water or at the primary location and not walk. So I don't want to be a party pooper, but I have some real reservations.
About activities actually happening at the park.
Yeah.
The safety aspect.
Safety, the size of the park, dealing with transportation of bodies between the fire department and the park. And yeah, I have some strong concerns.
I hear that. Might I request that we do a trial run? And we are 32 days out. We don't have this advertised anywhere at this point. I think Richie and friends will probably bring some people to the stage for sure. I think that if we can do an excellent job at getting the word out and having the people, the hands on deck at the actual space to say, you're not parking here, you can't park here, up the road.
Do they have to walk on the road then between the fire, there's not a trail between the park and the fire. It's on your-
Actually,
We
could,
I think there is an old trail.
there
that used to
is,
come out.
we could do, because that's actually the fire rescue access to if anybody gets hurt on the trail. The fire department property does butt up, and we actually have a trail maintenance day this Sunday, 9 a.m. if anybody wants to come out and have some fun at my park. Where we're gonna be laying wood chips and making the trails prettier. But that isn't fun.
We still have to cross the creek.
That is a great thought.
It's gotta stay dry.
Yeah, because you don't have a.
You would still have to cross the creek. But from that access point, it's not a steep.
Deep.
Come walk it with me, Mike, on Sunday.
I'm just saying,
9 a.m.
we're worried
You
about
want
people,
it.
we're worried about people walking down the road which is blacktop, and you're gonna make them go across the trail. and
They
across
could
the
have
trail.
options. Here's my thought, is I do think, like, we did do the 5K, and granted, that was only for an hour and a half that we had to have that blocked off, but we had over 60 people for that hour and a half, like going down 6, up 228, which they're insane on that road, and then up Kelsey Schuler, back down 6. And we all worked together. Like, I don't know if we could maybe get some fire department men to help us, or women, there's women there too, on that day. Our goal and our vision when Oktoberfest kind of happened was that it would eventually, the activities and fun would eventually transition down to the actual space that we've raised the money to create. And yeah, I do hear the concerns. I live on that road. I can ride my motorcycle on that road and not see anybody.
How many times have you dumped it on that road?
I dumped it on my property twice, and that was my fault. So I live there. It's
The only other thing I could see which would help besides the hay wagon is have a bus. Or like a little bus, and people could get on the bus and get shuttle bus.
shuttle bus. I have a van that fits like 7 people.
Yeah.
You're thinking something bigger, yes.
Well, I don't know, if there's little buses all over that they use for the wineries, yeah. Somebody would bus the people up and back instead of having them ride a hay wagon, because if it's raining, nobody wants to sit on an open wagon and ride in the park.
Shuttle bus, that's good.
Possibly coordinating with the county highway department, like the horse race deals took place last weekend. The county provides road cones and signs and we do that.
Oh, yeah, the horse, that was like 100, like a lot of miles, right, for the horses?
50 miler, I believe.
Yeah.
They had to get from the parking lot of the Hector Fire Company up to the forest.
I didn't do it this year, but I'd set up road cones from Ball Diamond, almost to Tishner.
Hard to get the horses on the bus?
But, line the shoulder, people are gonna be walking along the shoulder or something, like the horses were going, we would line the cones.
Just to get them up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Give them an idea, plus there's.
And they have signs out.
Well, I think we should make up our mind, because it's getting late already, and we have quite a bit to go. I don't know, do we need, because
I'll just chime in that I guess I'm not as concerned. Maybe it's because I'm used to 414 and it's like way more of a nightmare than County Route 6. And people walking along 414. And honestly, when Two Goats first opened, is 2010 to like 2013, people used to stack up and park on 414, which was like, like just before we had enough parking. So County Route 6, I've just never, ever seen the same amount of traffic, but it just takes one accident. And you're mixing alcohol. But I love the idea that you could I love the idea of moving it to the park. It just seems like it has to move to the park at some point. I'm not sure if it's this year or not, but I think it should move to the park. I love the idea of not having to use the road, though, if that's ever a possibility.
Yeah, I will actually, it's not difficult to create that little bit of space. I'll connect with someone from the fire department to make sure that that's okay. That could also be an access point to the park.
I mean, really, the only part, you could walk down the fireman's property to that bridge, and then you have to go around that one house to get into the park.
Yeah, it's really not
It's
that
really not
big deal.
like they have to walk from the fire department all the way down, they could walk across the fire.
Is there a driveway down there?
There's a driveway down there.
Yeah, there's a driveway all the way.
Right close to,
Yes.
I don't know if it's right in the corner, but it's down there. There is a
Close to
driveway.
Marinas.
Good point. See, my concern about us only doing ribbon cutting at the park and then everything else up at the fire department, we cannot pull that off. We cannot pull off the fire department activities like we did the last 2 years. And I think that's what people will be expecting. People will be expecting the 30 vendors, the huge production that we've done for the last few years, and we just do not have the manpower to do that. We all are living pretty full lives with Becca, the secretary, having her baby and different people going through some personal things. And so we're trying to still keep the momentum of the park going. I actually had somebody from Skylar Agency reach out to me and say, we have some grant money. We'd love to give it to the play structure potentially for some accessible equipment. And I actually, in our last work day that we had, the people who just brought Sam and Stephanie's house, both of them came down with their kid and they were helping us dig. And this guy, Liam, who's enjoying the play structure, moved down, and there's so much momentum and positivity. I don't think we can pull something off if it's at the park.
What about if we make sure people are told to park up at the firehouse, and then using the idea of cones along the road, tunneling or channeling people along the side of the road, off the road, until they get to near the bridge or the house and the bridge, and then there'd be a volunteer with a high visibility standing there to let people walk across the bridge and down over to Met Park, and someone at Met Park side also, just watching traffic. And if we can try to keep people off the road for the most of the walk back or forth, plus the bus or the, hayride bringing people.
I think that's totally doable.
It takes two people that are spotters for cars, keep people from walking across the bridge when they see a car coming.
Yeah, and there's total full visibility. It's not like the 5K that there's the lined hill going up 6 and you're kind of freaking out. There's not that. It's like real clear visibility. People have not gotten up to the 55 mile speed. Go, because the park's right there coming off from 228. And I really like Mike's point about you can walk on the fire department property until right there, and then you got like this much of a road, and then you're safe.
And then our committee can figure out a way to make that the obvious path for walking down.
Yes, yeah.
And people not, signs, do not walk on the road, or whatever it takes.
I do
kind of give people a funnel that they know they're supposed to walk between this area. Maybe ribbons, maybe.
Yes, good call.
The stakes and ribbons and you're gonna get a little alleyway. That's where they go. And people will catch on to that pretty fast. I mean, at least it keeps a lot of the people off the road.
Yeah, I'm definitely open to any of the suggestions you have to be able to have it be asked.
Because I'm very much in favor of the way you're describing, with the Oktoberfest is here too.
Yeah.
Being at the park and, anything.
All right, well, it seems that the majority of the board is in favor of this. If we want to move forward and give them permission to get the 1-day alcohol use permit, you can do that at the board resolution.
I make a motion to our friends of Mech Park to get a liquor license for the day of Oktoberfest, October 11th.
Are we specifying that it's only beer and wine?
If we need to, we can.
That is I think.
And that'll be defined in the liquor license.
Yes, beer, wine, and cider, 1-day permit.
Yeah.
Because it's different than a liquor license.
Let's also, in conjunction with that, authorize the supervisor to send the landlord authorization form on the permit.
That is also what I want to make a motion to do.
I'll second it.
We have a first and second to authorize the Friends of Mecklenburg Park to sell and receive and sell alcoholic beverages at Smith Park. Boy,
It's getting late.
There's no further questions or comments. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right.
Good luck with the traffic.
You guys are. Be there. Check it out yourself.
Code enforcement.
All right.
Yes, we have.
So for August, we issued 10 building permits, closed out one. The issue permit construction value was just over $160,000. Completed permit construction value was just over $160,000. Our collected fees were $1,034. I am requesting authorization to attend the Saboa training this month for a cost of $35, and will be in at drive-in at the fire hall.
I'll make a motion.
Second the motion.
We have a first and second to authorize our code enforcement officer to attend a Stavola training for $35. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Couple quick updates on the shared service, potential shared service agreements. Justin and I had forwarded some concerns to Rob. We're still waiting for his reply to that in relation to the heights.
In relation to the heights, I wouldn't mind asking the boards for approval to sign a shared services agreement contingent upon mine and Jason's concerns and the attorney for the town signing off on the agreement.
Is that because Jason's likely concerned? I'll second the motion so we can discuss it.
Yeah, we have a first and a second.
Is that because you think that you'll end up doing some code enforcement work there before next month's meeting?
I'm just trying to, trying to move this along. They're basically not having anything happen. While we're trying to figure this out, and it's our attorney is the one that's holding this up. They made a presentation, we made comments, and would like to see, would propose changes, and the attorney for the town actor is the one that's holding this up. And I feel sort of the same way about the shared service agreement with the village of Burdett. Jason has been doing some occasional work for them because they've been in need.
Yes, I think that the heights isn't as critical at this point. The town of Horse has been providing code enforcement to them. I've also, the deputy mayor there has reached out a couple of times, and I've shared some names of part-time, there's some part-time code enforcement officers in the region that are looking for more full-time. The village of Burdett is in a bind, and I would really like to see the authorization on that. If we're able to work out all the details. I know Justin's been in contact with them quite a bit, trying to iron out some of the details. So I'd say that one's the most critical at this
And that's not the motion part of that table.
No, sir.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's fine, but it sounds like what you're saying is that is the one you are more likely to need to do an inspection or help out with before next month's meeting.
That one, yes, I'm active. I think that needs immediate attention because to make sure us in the village of Burdett are in compliance, and what I've done thus far isn't it's some minor inspections and just making sure that they're able to get permits issued, but if there's something more significant or when there is a permit that actually requires my signature, I would like to make sure that agreement's.
Or if somebody's proceeding without a permit.
Correct. Yeah, at this point, they had one person and they were able to draft the village was able to draft a stop work order, but I think legally, if the contractor would have challenged that wouldn't have, because the way New York State code or some of the laws have been adjusted. You used to have 18 months for whoever you had in that position to administer the codes. Now, they have to have all training before they can do any code enforcement activities whatsoever. So I think that's part of the reason we're seeing this, it's a bit of a crisis because you have to rely on your neighbors to, so say I was injured tomorrow, like if we didn't have good relationships with some of the other towns in the county, you would not be able to have any code enforcement activities until someone was hired or a municipal agreement was obtained.
So the motion on the floor is relating to, it will be the same shared service agreement that we would use for both places?
No, they will be unique.
Okay. So I personally would not be in favor of being in a hurry to approve something that I haven't had a chance to review for Elmira Heights, just because it doesn't seem like it's very likely it will be needed. That's my personal opinion. I just like to read things before I sign them. But I would be in favor of moving forward with code for that, just in terms of it is a village in our town, many shared services agreements with them. So I'm throwing out there, I would retract my second for the motion for the village of Elmira Heights. But I would support discussing Burdette.
So somebody can move to retract their motion.
Well, I will retract my second.
Well, you can just go to. Okay, so
That's just where I am. I think somebody else could second that.
I made the motion. I made the motion.
I mean, you did.
Oh,
I think
like
Anthony
that?
did. No, I think it was Anthony.
I thought you did.
No, I seconded it.
Oh,
If anyone else wants to hear it, we can vote on it, then do that separately.
can we just table it until next month?
You good? Yep.
All right, let's do that.
The Elmira Heights,
Yeah,
right?
Myra Heights, just table it till next month.
Okay, so Anthony, you're willing to
Now,
withdraw?
what Mike tells me.
No, he's. He wants to table it.
Withdraw and.
Then we don't have to vote on it, we don't have to rescind it, we just table it till next month.
I don't think you withdraw it and table it. I think you
Right,
just table
let's
it.
table it. Is Joanna's open?
Is there anybody wanting to move
So
forward?
Burdette.
Village of Burdette.
I would make a motion to sign a shared services agreement for code enforcement with the village of Burdette.
I'll second that.
Do we have the standard form or?
Yep. This
So we
has
could-
to be drawn up from scratch.
Contingent on the attorney for the town and approval by the code enforcement officer and the supervisor. That's my motion.
Is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
We have first and a second. Any,
Okay, so we've resolved to authorize the supervisor to sign a shared services agreement with Burdette. Contingent on,
approval by the attorney for the town in.
Contingent. on approval.
I don't know, Jason, if are you able to like rough up a shared services agreement to submit? I mean, maybe if the attorney for the town doesn't write it. I didn't know if we had another one that you could base it on,
I can talk.
or
with
one that
some
we
of the
use
other-
from someone else or something.
I can talk with some of the other municipalities in the county to see if they're able to. Yeah, because I know there's.
Well, don't you do shared services with other, I mean, do you currently do work in other municipalities with a shared service agreement?
No, at this point, like it's, if I was on vacation and the town of Dix was providing some backup coverage, they would still be, even, they're certified, but they would still be signing under my licensure. So, but yes, that's.
All right.
There's some things that need to be figured out for that.
Yes, there are.
I mean, that's my very tiny issue is that this is the same thing that you just rescinded your second on the previous, is that there wasn't anything in writing for you to read. But now it's now removed where it's already no one's read and doesn't actually exist.
No, it's slightly inconsistent. I guess I just feel like we have several shared services agreement already with the village of Burdette. And as there are buildings in our town, I imagine there's a lot of overlap. I guess my concern is rushing through something in another municipality. But since we cover so many things for them anyway, it feels like a smaller bridge to hurdle. I mean, you're right, there's an inconsistency there. I agree.
I still.
I have no doubts about that, Anthony.
Sorry to interrupt. Maybe if we do like an authorization to do it for 2 months or something, or through years, and then the giving, so we can provide some immediate relief, but then the whole board can sign off on it before, or get to review it, and we revisit it in the next month, a couple
I like
months.
maybe a
That makes
60-day window.
Sure, sounds great.
Change the motion to that.
Sure, yes.
Jane,
So what do you,
Everything was said with the 60-day clause.
for a 60-day time period, you said, okay?
With lawyer and code enforcement.
Right, with the attorney, code enforcement supervisor for a 60-day.
For a period of 60 days.
Okay.
So we have first and a second. If there's no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right. I think that's it today so far. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pat.
You're really glad you came tonight, aren't you?
You're gonna have to bribe Jane to put me at the top next week.
Jeremy,
I,
you're up, and thank you very much. I didn't even think about telling Jane that you were coming. And as you guys can all see, there is a quote for a significant piece of equipment.
Thank you, Jason.
And
Sorry to keep you so late.
because of its significant price, I asked Jeremy to be here and kind of give a little explanation, because if he wasn't here, it would be me, and I don't have the working knowledge of what is needed here. So if you'd like to.
Yep. So the quote is for 2 through meters, which shows the clarity of the water on the intake side and the output side before and after filtration.
Would these be replacements or a
Yes.
second system going?
And it'll be replacements.
Okay.
The current ones we have now are outdated and they're gonna be obsolete, so if they go down, availability parts pretty much won't have it. Right now, there's a current discount on the controller for them. It's 20% off. It's I believe it's almost $1,000. The original price would be $3,258, and that's state contract price.
That's number 2 item on the pricing quote.
Number 2 item.
Okay.
And you only need one of those, even though you need 2 of everything else?
No, it'd be 2, both of them being replaced. But just one controller that runs both of them.
One controller, that's it. Okay.
And the 20% discount ends by the end of the month.
And this would be able to be like just basically the old will be taken out and it won't be
Yep,
swapped in.
and
Be pretty
the
straightforward.
company Hawk would still be with the contract with them to maintain them and everything.
Yeah. Is there any kind of sanitation or whatnot that needs to be done when you break the line to put something like that in, or?
No, usually everything has valves, just turn it off and hook up the new ones.
Does this fall under general maintenance, or is it on the line that we tax for
Repair reserve. It could be both, I think. We have the money in there to
All right,
cover this.
you can approve the purchase to spend the monies out of your repair reserve,
But that's subject to misreference.
subject to permissive referendum. So, it takes a resolution to,
Then we have to wait.
it's 30 days.
No, it's the 20%.
No, I think if you order, I don't think we have to pay for it in advance. I think you're gonna get that if you get it
Once you
ordered.
get it locked in, from what I understood from the salesman.
I was just asking.
We can't pay for it till our next meeting anyway, so.
That we use that line. I don't care where the money comes from. I was just asking the question, to make sure that.
We should probably care where.
No, it's gonna come from water somewhere.
There's about 3 different lines that I think it could, because this is kind of both sides of the water. This is
Filtration.
filtration and then the supply side and the delivery side, as well as it could come out of repair reserve. If we want to do repair reserve, we should state that tonight, Howard, because, it is subject to the 30-day
Would
referendum.
make it simple if you just put it up, the 3 lines.
Yep. That was my thought process.
This seems like filtration, doesn't it?
It checks it before the filtration and also checks it on the way out, on the way it's source.
Oh, check
Does source the
twice.
supply and,
Before and after, so like, say if it goes down, we won't be able to tell, say like one of the wells, collapses internally, we won't know the quality, the clarity of the water coming into the filtration. And it could, damage the filters possibly if it's too much coming.
Would we put one of the filters in one line and one in the other line?
Well, they're not filters, they're just.
They're not turbidity
Just
monitors.
It's a meter.
Meters.
It's a meter to read the turbidity.
So really, it has nothing to do with filtration, it just has to do with supply.
Yeah, it's separate than the filtration.
Right?
So
So we make a motion.
I make a motion to authorize,
That's it.
no one has.
Oh,
You wanna
go
make
ahead.
one,
No,
Mike?
go ahead.
To authorize the supervisor to sign a contract to buy with Hack Enterprises for two turbidity meters for a total amount of $13,705.00.
I'll second.
First and a second, any further questions about?
We don't have to ask for extra other, quotes from anyone.
This is a state bid item and it's also, specific to,
Under contract.
to our contract.
Just making sure.
Oh.
Okay.
I appreciate that and Jeremy and I actually discussed that before we, move forward with this. Right, we have a first and a second. If there are no further questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Do we need to specify that we're gonna split this over 3 lines in the resolution?
No.
no, when you actually pay this bill, you'll
Right.
adjust whatever lines that need to be adjusted. You pay it out of one line,
But we'll move the
but
budget.
you'll move money from whatever other lines or your fund balance to cover it.
I'd also like to thank Jeremy for being here so late. We don't always end up here this late. Thanks for coming out.
So I'm
Nice
glad
to see your face.
For that fence finally got fixed.
Yeah, that's exciting. Good job.
We got a first and second.
We have a first and second, all in favor? Aye. Okay, we have one other thing for water that's not on there. Josh is obviously not here, he's out on medical leave. While his, disability comes through, he is run out of his benefit time. And the town of Hector has a benefit bank, so to speak, where he has 2 other town employees that are donating some sick leave to him so that he isn't going without income while the disability is being figured out. And to make sure that we're doing this legally, I have a resolution that I'm going to read, and I guess that means I'll be making the motion. Whereas the town of Hector has personnel policies and procedures manual, and whereas the manual permits eligible employees to donate sick time to aid fellow employees in time of need, subject to the approval of the town in its sole discretion, and whereas Josh Milkinson, an employee of the town, has exhausted his leave accrual and remains absent on leave due to a temporary disability, and whereas Philip Schloss and Richard Bump have asked to donate sick time to Mr. Milkinson, and whereas the town has carefully considered the facts and circumstances of his employment and leave, as well as requests to donate sick leave, and believe it would be appropriate to permit the requested sick time donations. Now therefore, it is hereby resolved the town permits the donors to each donate 80 hours of their accrued sick time to Mr. Milson, effective immediately, with said amount being deducted from each donor's sick time account and placed in their Mr. Milson's sick time Milson sick time account. And it is further resolved that Mr. Milson may begin using said donated sick time effective the first workday following the date of this resolution. And it is further resolved that should Mr. Milson return to work before exhausting the donated sick time, the remaining donated sick time shall be returned to donors, with each receiving 1/2 of the remaining sick time.
I second the motion.
We have a first and a second on this motion. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, potentially October 1st. That would be the earliest time, yeah.
Okay.
If there are no further questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you
I
all.
need that motion.
Okay, yes.
I need
we do
that
that.
back to put in there, 'cause
Thank you, Jeremy. I apologize.
Want me to go through the rest of the board?
If you'd like to give us a quick synopsis of that, sure.
Month of August, we pumped 4.8 million gallons of water, an average of 154,000 gallons daily average. Water testing, all current sample draws are up to date. Monthly reports, DOH and DEC DMR reports sent out. Water service turn-ons and offs, there's none for the month of August. Backup generators are all in working order. Air compressors, both maintenance, one air compressor is down waiting on parts and have to figure out if that's under warranty or not. And meter reading system is, we were having troubles, but as of today is up and operational where we're having troubles down towards North Falls. And I'm sure leaves just moved just right, so it started working properly. So all skid filtration is in working order. Service trucks are in working order, meeting reading, lead and copper samples, they're all been sent out. Had a leak on 414 down by North Falls. Not last week, the week prior, that was solved within 48 hours. That was just trouble finding, more or less. It was a circular break over top of a box culvert and had styrofoam insulation around it, so I'm sure it encapsulated the leak for a while. I think it was leaking for some time and it finally just got loose. And that was the following day after locating it, it was fixed within 2 hours. And we have assistance by DOT, which they've been great to work with on 414, bringing out the traffic lights. That's been a lifesaver, it really has. Potential new water service down on Leidenfrost Road, which we'll have to dive into more on that. Potentially getting in the water district, and that fence is repaired. And I know it was really close to last month, but I had a new service hooked up, and for Adam Thorpe is doing new construction for his in-laws. And got lucky on that. That was actually an existing connection that was never hooked up. And they stumbled upon it, and it was the easiest tap I've ever done.
Just a two-person department and one of you out, are you able to get do you have someone who covers, or are you having to do all the weekend checks and everything?
Just I'm doing everything on the weekends and stuff like that. Come September 22nd, I'm going to school for my 2A water license, which is my last license I need. Justin from Ovid, Justin Reed, he will be covering for me doing rounds during that time. And I'll probably, if I, depending on Josh's situation, I'll probably get out of school and come in and check dig safes, and if I have to go on to then I do them. And other than that,
Thanks for stepping up and all this.
yeah, I've pretty much had everything thrown at me.
Yes.
And, I've been very fortunate having help from Ovid and Interlaken's municipalities. I mean, they've been great to work with.
Yeah.
And usually we, one hand washes the other hand with them. So, but yeah, other than, in July with, what happened down in Royce, it's nothing bad. So,
And the state must be fast if you found that leak and within 2 hours fixing on 414 and they got
oh, yep. And,
traffic lights there that fast.
yeah, we had a pole, which is nice because they even brought the guardrail truck up when we did have the pole section of guardrail out, and they've just been great to work with.
Oh, there you go.
Nobody pays attention on 414 and then working signs.
Yeah.
And that's the only worry I have with the job, is working along 414.
Yeah.
And I want to say to that too, Jeremy, I happened to be going by and I saw you out on 414 that day. No vest, no high visibility. And I really hope we can get you guys some.
We have
Because
them on
before
Smiley.
42, you should throw one of those on. It makes a difference, because, you know, you got like your shirt, your dark shirt like you have on today. It's, you know, I was like, oh, there's Jeremy. What's he doing out there?
No, I understand, that's my only responsibility.
Yeah.
We have them.
Okay, well, please use them.
Right. Well, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll see you Thursday.
Sounds good. Everybody have a good evening.
You
You as
too.
well.
It's next week.
Nice meeting you as well.
Tax collector,
No, town clerk.
town clerk slash.
Text
Slash
collector.
clerk.
Yeah, well, text collector doesn't have anything to report right now.
Knower of all.
Anyhow, town clerk's report, took in a total of $5,469. Supervisor, I don't even have the total added up that you were paid for, but the, general fund got $611.52. The part-time fund got $1,474, which the part-time that would have been
Codes.
codes. Yeah. Codes and something else. DEC for hunting licenses was $3,240.98. And population control fund, spay neuter fund got $30. And the health department for marriage licenses got $112.50. For the water district, it was a non-billing month, so basically there was a $25 return check fee charged on an account. And penalties were assessed to $1,289.23. So total billing was $1,314.23. Income coming in, metered water customers paid $32,539.86. The repair reserve fund gained $2,808.82, and the supervisor's return check fees count at $25. That's leaving an outstanding balance on total arrears in the district of $31,473.79. We are, as of the end of August, that is the August 31st is the delinquent water date that we start to prepare re-levy notices. We have the notices printed for those accounts that were outstanding as of August 31st, and they will be going out with the billing next week, so we'll save some postage by doing the July, August billing that needs to go out next week, and including these delinquent notices. Also in that, for the delinquent portion of their bill, they will have till October 14th to pay it. Before I ask you, the board, to re-levy it in November. That's basically all I got at the moment.
All right, first thing I have is authorizing town historian to attend conference.
Yes.
I guess she already attended the conference.
No,
Oh, she paid for the conference.
she actually, paid her, the paid receipt is for the actual cost of the conference that goes to the New York State, Association of Public Historians. That's $250. That's the registration fee for it. She's paid that and will get reimbursed next month because these didn't come in, wasn't in here until after everything was submitted to Kathy and closed out the vouchers. So, on the backside is her reservation for the hotel, that will be $327 that will, has not been paid yet, so. But basically, the authorization is for her to attend, that conference, and it will be from October 5th to October 8th.
I'll make the motions for Sandra Bradford and the annual 2025 annual conference, Casanova,
Second it,
to include the hotel stay and reimbursement of the $250.
should I second it?
Okay, we have a first and a second. Any further questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Feasibility study came in for the last month we talked to. I brought up, that I'd like to, on behalf of the village of Burdette, pay for our feasibility study and then, get reimbursed by the village of Burdette when the grant money comes through. However, we do not have the legal agreement arranged with them yet. So that's the update. Hopefully we'll have that in place by next month and then we can get this done. We haven't got the final bill from the engineering firm, as I don't believe yet either, so that's helping stall things. We do have another bid packet that Liz and I worked on. This is for a solar array that will cost no more than $60,000 in the Tuttle Road dump site. We have some dates and proposals on here.
I sent an email to Liz earlier.
Yeah, we need to,
We were going to adjust that, the timing to be 4 PM for things to be, for the bids to come in.
Yeah.
And where it refers to a proposal instead of a bid needs to be changed to a bid.
I just updated it.
I didn't update that because I think that's a watermark. I could not make those go away. I could not adjust that in the document. If each page says request for proposal, I can't make it change request to request for bid.
Well, but it's not a request for a bid, it's simply bid. Request for needs to disappear off of it. So I don't.
Maybe we can make that line to disappear off each heading.
Yeah, because it's a full bid
That
and
was
then,
just a line at the top of the.
Yeah, I can't,
and,
You can add the heading.
I can't seem to make that go away.
right, and then we
I'll
need
see
to
if I
have a
can, yeah.
bid opening date that goes
Just gonna
in
cross
this
it off
also.
and make it go away.
That would be a light font color.
Yeah, I guess it's true, you can do it that way too.
I didn't even think about that.
You gotta hack this damn thing.
So we need a bid opening.
Right, so
It's
we
in
need,
there.
Bid pack is issued September 9th, which isn't quite ready, so we should change that slightly.
No, I mean, we're gonna issue it tonight.
Okay.
well,
You seem so positive with that.
Well, we were supposed to do it last month and it didn't happen, so it's like, okay, we can't push it another month. We're
no,
gonna
you can
get
get
a
this
bunch of-
resolution done, but I mean, the I don't know that it needs a. I think you just put the date on there. It doesn't really need to say this bid packet is issued. You just could date it, I don't know. The wording is weird.
We're gonna approve this.
We're gonna approve it to be advertised.
The way it's, the schedule, as the schedule reads. Is that what you're hoping?
Well,
Number 3.
you're gonna authorize to advertise for sealed bids, because this does need to be called a sealed bid. Sealed bids for the solar installation on Tuttle Road with bids due on, I don't know.
October 7th
October 7th,
at 4 PM.
and bid opening when? Because you
It's in
can't,
there, October 7th.
No, that's the mission.
Deadline.
We could do both. We could do,
well, then you don't want it 4 PM. If you're gonna open them, you don't want it at 4 PM on the 7th. You wanna open them a little earlier than that. The 7th is a
Tuesday.
Thursday.
Tuesday. Do 1 PM?
Sure.
Okay, so then make your resolution. So if we do this at 1 PM, and then we'll open them immediately. The bid opening following. Okay.
So the bid could be awarded on October 7th.
No,
No.
you're gonna open
it
it.
to our.
And then it'll be also.
Oh, gotcha, okay.
So then it's just gonna be to opening them, And you
Okay,
won't award it till your October 14th.
right. 9 p.m. Here we go. You want it right.
I mean, I can't imagine anyone's gonna be sitting by their phone waiting to receive an email that they are the ones who got the bid at 9 p.m., but. Putting in there.
Might be.
Huh?
It might be.
What? It's in there somewhere? I didn't read that.
Number 3, schedule on the proposed second page, page 4. Page 4, number 3.
Well, that might be what time of the board meeting we're gonna approve it.
That's
That's-
That's fair.
Well, you don't have to have a time. No, you do not have to have a time there. You just take out that time, take out 9 p.m. You just say bid awarded, bids to be awarded October 14th.
Do we have a
Okay.
resolution? Liz?
And there's another spot that says RFP, can't say RFP.
Bid
Well, it
deadline.
says request for bids.
The page is on.
No, I just saw something
Oh,
somewhere.
on page
On
4.
page 5.
There was something somewhere I just caught
Did you
something
do
on it.
this in Word?
Page 5, number 3.
Because you can do under Word, in Word, you can do find, and you just put the word proposal in, and it'll highlight all the proposal words.
But anyway, we need to look at this on
Yeah,
Thursday.
we'll work on it on Thursday. We'll
We
get.
need to just clean it up a little bit on
take care of
Thursday and
the
get it
proposals and
happening.
Make it bids where appropriate, or delete the proposal RFP where it. Okay.
So I will make the motion. Advertise this to go to bid. The bid for advertisement.
Mhm.
They're lying to them. So they're corrected.
I second.
What I have written is resolve to advertise for sealed bids for the solar installation on Tuttle Road with bids due on October 7th at 1 p.m. and bid opening to follow. That sound good?
And this is the grant that
So we
we,
have, the grant was 75,000, we should have spent 15 on the EV charger, which are still not done, still waiting to be approved. Then we should have 60,000 left for this, so it's for however many panels they can put up for 60,000.
Okay. So who second this?
I did.
Oh, thank you.
Made the motion.
We have a person second. Authorizing the advertisement posting of this bid. There's no further questions or comments. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right. We have 2 things left, one of which is not on the agenda. We need to discuss, or we need to set some dates for budget.
Yeah.
That one.
I kind of drafted out some. You're supposed to receive your budget on or before the 5th of October. That is a Sunday. So we need to set a date, either the 6th or 6th is a Monday, the 7th is a Tuesday. And then Justin and I had a discussion about, whichever day that you choose, we invite the fire companies to come to review their preliminary requests for budget.
On the same day?
Yes,
Same day.
same date and time. Because we're gonna run out of time to get fire improved, to get the advertising done for 10 days prior to the public hearing.
Mhm.
So where'd that other
You think more
The other
fire people
handwritten
are gonna
sheet,
make it on
yeah.
the 6th or the 7th, Monday or Tuesday?
over there? I got notes over there.
There's a meeting on Monday,
This
right?
one. Yeah, because, the deadline to advertise for fire is, I have to send everything to the paper by the 16th of October. And for the rest of your budget, the ad has to go in on the 23rd of October. Because election day is early enough in November that our meeting is gonna be November 6th for those public hearings.
Well, Roy says they're meeting on Monday, so.
We can stretch it to
Which is
Tuesday
better
the
for all of
seventh.
us, Monday or Tuesday.
Neither of those is particularly great.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make either of those in person. I could zoom in, but no,
Well, unfortunately, that October 5th date is,
So could we do Friday the 3rd or Thursday the 2nd?
So, I don't have to be it. We can do it that, we'll do it before that.
that's up to your budget officers. That's not anything in my control.
I have a hard time believing we're gonna get the fire departments there on Friday the 3rd,
No.
so we can shoot it to.
Probably very true.
It can probably stretch it to, you can't stretch it much more past that first week.
The 8th is court, it says up here, so
Yep.
that
Yep.
put us on Thursday.
The 8th is
9th.
court. So then and we had a tentative date in there for October 9th for a budget workshop.
I could do the 9th.
Can you do the 2nd?
The
Thursday the 2nd.
Thursday, Saturday. Yeah.
If you were doing just the fire part of it, this would be Saturday.
You could have, we don't have to have the whole budget even then.
No, well, you do. You're supposed to have all of it to be by the 30th of September
Okay.
at midnight. But
All right, well, let's go for
But let's-
October 2nd.
if we could do October 2nd to receive the budget and have the fire companies come in,
I think that's great.
and what time?
5, 6,
Let's do 6.
6.
6 PM? That'll push it a little for Mech, but he'll get here when he can get here.
He doesn't have to be the first one on there.
Right. And then October 9th for budget workshop?
Yep.
6 PM?
Works.
Your regular audit meeting will be the 14th. The 16th, there is a candidates thing in Searsburg being planned for all candidates running.
Isn't there's also one in,
That's the 14th. Oh,
that's the one at the high school.
that's the one that, yeah, school is the 14th. That's our board meeting.
That's our board meeting.
Look at me. Calendar. On that look.
Yeah, apparently somebody that wanted the high school didn't organize, well, they organized that for county purposes mostly anyway, and not, they don't care about the towns.
Yeah. That's not gonna be a bad.
When I've gone before, it hasn't been that well attended.
No, it
Right.
wasn't.
I mean, that-
2 years.
Especially
That
for the
might take
town.
out, but, yeah, I mean, it's like an empty auditorium.
But the
Last time
The
I
one-
had to speak.
one on the
It would be a
16th,
The one on the 16th will just be the Searsburg Grange. I've been asked to moderate the meet candidates event on the 16th.
right, and it includes Democrats and Republicans running for town
I'm
offices.
not comfortable about moderator.
Yeah, well, that was my
Compromise.
that was my concern, and it was actually my,
Okay.
before I had that concern, and I was trying to do so before.
Okay, so we got 2 budget meetings.
Also, the 15th, I don't want to do because that's the night we were scheduled, but this is sustainability committee scheduled that.
Well, 15th, we wouldn't probably be able to do on Wednesday night anyway because of court, right?
Well, there's no court written on there, I'm just saying.
Yeah, there's no court on the 15th, but like I said, the 16th is that candidates thing, so then the other one would have been the 21st. Tuesday the 21st.
21st and the 23rd if we need it.
Can't make it. I could if we did 4 o'clock.
On the 21st?
Can we do 4 o'clock? Yeah.
21st, you're talking?
Yeah. Is that,
Hopefully you would be able to finish by then, but that means you're gonna do a whole lot more on the 9th.
21st is 4.
Do the 21st at 4 PM.
And then what would you do the 22nd as well, as needed?
The 22nd is DA night
No,
here,
23rd.
23rd if needed.
so it would be 10:23 if we thought we needed
We
to,
go back to 6 o'clock on 10/20.
Mhm.
Yes.
if you need it.
Hopefully.
But-
Well, we're just gonna advertise it all in one piece.
Yep.
Okay, so what do we have? The 2nd at 6 PM, the 9th at 6 PM?
The
But
14th
yeah,
board
all right,
meeting.
so the second, yes, the second is 6 PM, the 9th is 6 PM, the 14th is your regular 7 PM, the 21st at 4 PM, and the 23rd at 6 PM. And then your public hearing and your regular audit meeting will be November 6th. It's 7 PM unless you want to move your public hearings back to maybe 6:30. But your public hearings, usually nobody shows up for them for budget. I don't know why, but they don't.
If Liz has to leave at 5:45 on the 21st, we move it to early, and then the day that works for everybody. That's an hour and quarters.
Yeah, I don't know that you have no, yeah.
Well, I mean, you would have a quorum without me if I left
Right.
at 5:45, you could.
Are you trying to get out of it, Liz?
No, I'm telling you in advance, I have a conflict. Just saying, like,
I don't have a
I'm
problem
fine.
with you trying 3 o'clock on this,
Are you
the
able to-
21st.
That's up for you.
I'll die if there's, sure.
Okay.
You're gonna cry.
Who needs a job?
So
Okay, Anthony, you come an hour late, Liz is gonna leave an hour early.
I'll bring the pizza and beer.
The important one to also note
Wait, so
is
what did we do?
October 2nd is 6 PM and it's the fire, it will include the fire budget.
Right, so
Okay.
we need to get.
Can we make the one 3:30 and it'll be halfway between each one of you?
I can do 3 o'clock, that's fine.
Oh.
I'll just-
so the 21st at 3.
Great.
Okay.
To give us more time, especially we want to finish it that day.
Yeah, especially if
I'd
you want
rather
to
be here an
finish
extra
it.
hour that day and have to come back on the
I'm with you
23rd.
there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you guys.
with that in mind, I would like to make a motion that we go into executive session for approximately 15 minutes. And I would like to include the town report.
I'll second the motion.
Oh, what time is it?
It is 9:56.
Holy crows, guys, you're killing me.
you're killing us too. I am pausing the recording, but it is live streaming still for people in the room. So.
They're hardcore, I am out.
Have a good night.
Thanks again.
You too.
October 11th, will be.
Okay, I gotta use the bathroom.
Yeah, let me grab something to have. We'll share.
Yes. Way in the corner.
And it's because of any legal situation. Yeah.
I told you to bring the here and then phone ring. That's what I should for me. This is crazy. They need to do something about that. They should not dominate the third of the fucking meeting. Okay.
Oh, sorry, guys.
All right.
Yeah, wrong room.
I don't know where I'm supposed to be going. I just.
Those people are in executive session.
Yeah, well, we go over there instead, so no.
I can leave if you wanna use that office.
What should I do with my packet?
That's a little personal, you know?
I didn't say, well, no, I'm not gonna go there. Hey, now, this is being recorded, sort of.
Oh, yeah, that packet, but yeah. Oh, no.
There. Okay.
goals. Very good.
You're back.
Aww. It's not a big crowd, huh?
I'd like to make a motion
Wait a
to.
minute, let me unpause the,
Okay.
we're not even on here yet.
Can I just sit down?
Okay, it's recording.
I'd like to make a motion to return from executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Liz?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
A second.
Oh, third.
All right. Thank you all.